with an irregular heartbeat. Fortunately, he's okay. The Falcons have major business to finish, as in completing their Cinderella rise and making the playoffs, which they'll do with a win at home and next week at Cleveland. As for today, the Falcons know the Lions have lost 15 straight on the road. So a fast start by Michael Vick and company could have Detroit looking for the plane or Santa's sleigh. Yeah, road team, not Detroit, not in their manner thus far. Look, the Falcons, they lost a big showdown game to Tampa Bay, guys, which wasn't a surprise. Then they got upset by Seattle. Are they showing, Bill, their age or lack thereof, you think?
Yeah, I think so. You know what happens, guys? You got a young team with a young quarterback like this. What goes on around them all of a sudden becomes part of them. In other words, they're reading in the paper, you guys are good. They don't have the ability to figure out, well, we're really not that good. They think they're good. Oh, you guys are going to beat these guys. This is a game you should win, like Seahawks last week. They actually believe it. They don't have enough ability or maturity as a team to really look at an opponent for what it is yet. And until they get that, you have those slip-ups, you have those inconsistencies in performance because they're not mature enough, particularly when your quarterback, your leader of your team, is a young guy.
You make the key point, Bill, because, you know, we know that Michael Vick's a very young kid. He hasn't come very far. And what proved last week against the Seattle Seahawks? Mike Vick is the one-man team. I mean, he really is the one guy that can make that whole thing go. And so this is just a personal thing between Mike and I right now. Mike, I got to coach you. Your footwork towards the end of the season, getting a little sloppy. I know those drills are boring. I know those meetings are boring towards December. Key this week and next week for your footwork. Got to stay on top of it because if he's the one-man show, he's got to stay in it.
Well, they should be dialed in against Detroit. Maybe they got their wake-up call last week and Atlanta starts flying again. We'll be back.
More scoreboard watching here, Kurt, for sure. And the Falcons trying to fend off the Giants and hope that their two-game losing streak does not become an epidemic. They, of course, will look to quarterback Mike Vick, who has come back down to earth the last couple of weeks. Playing with that bruised left thumb still hurts him. He says he'll try to block out the pain. A real pain for the Falcons is the fact that 3 of their defensive starters will not be in the lineup today. For the Lions, with Joey Harrington out for the year, the quarterback duties, Mike McMahon makes his first start since the second week, and they are delighted to get back James Stewart at running back, who is 38 yards away from 1,000 for the season. That's the story here. Right now, let's go up to Carolina and Brian Baldinger.
I won again.
This could be a big day for Mike Vick, the sensational young Falcons quarterback, headed for the Pro Bowl, but he has important business first. A playoff berth is in Atlanta's grasp. And today, another sellout crowd at the Georgia Dome will welcome the surprising Falcons as they take the field, as they face the Detroit Lions, poised to be the spoiler and put a damper on Atlanta's party. And welcome to Georgia Dome. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to my partner Darryl Johnson and to all of you. And this is a day for scoreboard watching, Moose. No question about it. The Atlanta Falcons can gain a playoff berth. They went 8 games without a loss, but they have dropped their last 2. And you have to wonder a little bit about their psyche and confidence at this point.
And on top of that, the big concern is the offense that they will face today is very similar in style to the 2 previous teams that have beaten the Atlanta Falcons. Another areas of concern, during their 8-game unbeaten streak, they did a great job of taking care of the football. They have gotten a little loose with that over the last 2 weeks. But the biggest reason is the inconsistent play of Michael Vick. This team will live and die with his performance. And the last 2 games, he's been inconsistent. He had late-game heroics last week, almost pulled it out. He's got to get off to a quick start today.
Hey, Darryl, if we've seen some results lately, last week and again yesterday with the Minnesota Vikings, you know what teams that are out of it can do. And the Detroit Lions, really not much to cheer about this year, want to put a damper for Atlanta's hopes. Mike McMahon is going to start at quarterback. He can move a little bit. Joey Harrington out for the year. So what do you see with Detroit?
Well, hopefully Detroit got some inspiration from the Minnesota Vikings yesterday as they put a damper on the Miami Dolphins playoff hopes. You never know what happens in these situations. The coaching decisions all of a sudden change. You start going for 4th down, some gadget plays early in a football game, different things on special teams. That's what the Atlanta Falcons are going to have to guard against. And to me, the thing with Mike McMahon, you got a guy starting his first game since week 2. He's got nothing to lose and everything to gain this afternoon.
I like those gadget plays, don't you? All right, man, we want you to remember to answer today's Sprint Virtual Coach question. Which team will miss the NFC playoffs? And you can vote now using PCS Vision from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com. And we'll be back for the opening kickoff in just a moment.
to help businesses be more agile. In Week 15, Brian Greasy connected with Clinton Portis, who showed off some spectacular moves for his 4th touchdown of the day.
Stutter steps and avoids midfield, 45-40, 35-30, cuts back, another miss, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Denver.
Number 42, Shenard Hartz, had no chance of catching Portis.
Gina? You know, when I was first hired, we didn't have all these fancy integrated systems. Our sales program wasn't even linked with accounting. Warehouse platform in Chicago wasn't linked to anything, not even shipping. Back then, orders took days. Now they just take hours.
Wow, how long have you been working here?
A couple of months now.
Oh.
With Microsoft Server software, you can quickly connect all aspects of your business. That's software for the agile business from Microsoft.
Welcome back to Atlanta. We're seconds away from kickoff here. Ron Pitts down on the sidelines. You know, every year there's one NFL player that outstrips everybody in terms of jersey sales. It started out this year being Brian Urlacher, the linebacker with the Chicago Bears. Right now, that guy leading that pack in terms of selling jerseys, Michael Vick. Michael Vick was nice enough to sign this jersey for me, and I got to tell you something, Dick and Moose, there's got to be one boy or girl in here that's been really good this year. Somebody is going to get a very early Christmas present. I'm going to go look for him. Back up to you guys.
You're going to play Santa Claus, I know, before this game is over.
Well, we're already searching.
Yeah, we got one candidate. We got a lot of them here. Sellout crowd ready to go. The Detroit Lions, who have lost 6 straight games and are still looking for their first road victory since Marty Morenweg has become head coach. This is the 2nd year. We'll get the ball first. Jay Feely will kick off for the Falcons. And the outstanding rookie kick returner, Eddie Drummond, an undrafted first-year player from Penn State, who is 3rd in the NFL, averaging over 26.5 yards a kick return. So much riding on this game for the Atlanta Falcons as this game gets underway in the Georgia Dome. Drummond inside the 10, returning the opening kickoff, and now you see why he has become a fixture as flags fly from upfield. And the return for Drummond of 27 yards, and Walt Coleman will explain the penalty. Lions have had a lot of close games this year, coming at 3-11 on the season. 6 of their losses by a touchdown or less, another by 8 points. So they've been involved in most of their games, and there will be a holding penalty called against the Lions on the return.
Holding, 55, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So Dante Curry was holding, and so the Lions will start from the 24-yard line as we take a look at their offensive unit and their offensive line. Same as last week. Eric Beverly at left guard. Matt Joyce, normally a left tackle, will be at right tackle. James Stewart returns at running back, and Scotty Anderson will start at wide receiver. And a flip, and Avion Cason with speed, and a gadget play, you might say, on the first play from scrimmage, nets the Lions 17 yards beyond the 40-yard line, with Jerron Bolden making the tackle.
I mean, one of the things they're going to have to guard against, here's Avion Cason right here. You'll see him come around and get the little flip from Mike McMahon, and he takes a big hit. You talked about the speed. He's got that seam. Wow, Jerron Bolden just comes across and takes him right off his feet.
Marty Morenweg said we may see a gadget play in the top 15. We saw kind of one on play number 1, and Mike McMahon on the run, and his pass downfield is incomplete. McMahon, as you mentioned, making his first start since week 2. And the Atlanta Falcons using the 3-4 defense with Brady Smith, Ed Jasper, and Patrick Kearney up front. Keith Brooking going to the Pro Bowl for the 2nd time. He was an alternate the last time, and Chris Draft will start at linebacker for John Holisek. And banged up secondary with Jerron Bolden at cornerback and Kevin McAdam, a rookie, starting at strong safety. So they are weak and thin at cornerback. The handoff to Stewart, who found an opening off the left side and carries beyond the 45-yard line. A pickup of 4, and Keith Brooking, the Pro Bowler, making the tackle.
Keith Brooking really starting to get the handle on this 3-4 defense, something he had never played in before in his career. Wade Phillips brought it in, and you can see the improvements from week to week throughout the year when you watch him on film. He no longer thinks about stuff when he sees it happening. He's just reacting.
3rd down and 5. And McMahon will operate out of the shotgun. And passes incomplete. He was trying to get it to Jermaine Crowell, the 3rd receiver. Crowell not starting today on the crossing pattern, and the Falcons hold, and the Lions will have to punt.
Just kind of the start that the Detroit Lions have. You talked about the fact that they've been competitive. They get a penalty on the opening kickoff, a chance to convert a 3rd down. They drop the ball. A lot of the mistakes that they are making are within their control. They're not getting beat physically all the time. And this is one of the things they're going to have to correct to try and generate some positive momentum this afternoon.
John Jett will kick, and Alan Rossum, who had a huge kickoff return for a touchdown last week, calling for the fair catch right at the 10-yard line. So the Lions are out, and the Falcons and Mike Vick come back on offense.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37.
Back at the Georgia Dome, the Lions and the Falcons, no score. And there you see Jay Feely, the kicker, who last week, kind of a nightmare, missing a 36-yard field goal in overtime that would have given the Falcons the win. Instead, the Seattle Seahawks won. We may be here a while, partner, because the Falcons have played 4 overtimes and the Lions 3 this year. Meanwhile, the Falcons start from the 10. And Mike Vick giving the ball to Warrick Dunn, and Warrick Dunn cutting outside and back in, getting a big gainer and getting the Falcons out of the trouble. 17-yard gain for Warrick Dunn on 1st down.
And they will pull and trap their offensive line. Keenan Forney going across with the kick-out block. Here's your hole right here for Warrick Dunn. This is the thing that he brings to the game. Without T.J. Duckett in the lineup today, the Lions are very concerned about his potential to take these runs. They worried about, the 3-4-yard runs, and all of a sudden, boom, he goes for 50 yards. He gets off to a great start with a big one right out the gate.
And he can go up the middle on you, and he picked up 101 yards last week, so he's been a hot runner. 1st down at the 37, and Vick again handing off to Dunn, and Dunn picking up a couple on 1st down with Barrett Green making the tackle. Checking out the Atlanta Falcons offensive unit. Keenan Forney again starting at right guard. Roberto Garza is out. Todd Weiner is the right tackle. Dunn and Christian in the backfield. Trevor Gaylor opens at wide receiver for Sean Jefferson, who's out with a hamstring. And Christmas came early for Mike Vick, who in his 2nd year will be one of the 3 quarterbacks representing the NFC in the Pro Bowl. 2nd and 9, and Vick to throw his first pass, flicks it up the middle to Warrick Dunn, and Dunn figuring in the first 3 plays for the Atlanta Falcons, picking up 6 on the play. The Detroit Lions defensive unit. Kalimba Edwards, the rookie, once again starting at defensive end. Robert Porcher, he is the big man on the pass rush for them. Green, Chris Claiborne, and Dante Curry, the linebackers. And in the secondary, 2 rookies again start at cornerback, Andre Goodman and Chris Cash. For Detroit, Kurt Schottenheimer, the defensive coordinator for the Lions. 3rd down and 3. And here is Vick, and Vick's slant pass perfect to Quentin McCord, and McCord getting into Lion territory on a perfectly timed play, getting 26 yards before Brian Walker brings him down at the 40.
And that route is won right at the line of scrimmage. Quentin McCord does a good job of getting Chris Cash to turn his hips, opens him up, breaks across his face. Mike Vick delivers a nice ball right on the money, allowing him to run after the catch.
The Falcons have had a drought. They have not scored a touchdown in their last 16 games on their first offensive possession. And they're trying to get from behind the 8 ball, having lost their last 2 games. And they're really on a swivel as far as their playoff prospects are even today. 1st down at the 40, and here's Dunn. Warrick Dunn getting open field and finally dragged out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. So Warwick Dunn off to a brilliant start, gaining 22 yards, and it's first down inside the 20.
And the Atlanta Falcons, one of the few teams in the NFL that will run predominantly 2 tight end sets right there, an overbalanced line, unbalanced line to the right side. You see right here, you got the 4 guys to the right side, a good kick out by Bob Christian. Warwick Dunn up inside for another long gainer. This is great for Mike Vick because this team is at its best when they establish a good running game.
And Warwick Dunn giving him that good running day, Moose. He has 40 yards and 3 carries early on first down, and here is Vick. He may take this himself and will not get much. A couple of yards by Mike Vick, bringing up second down. Taking a look at the playoff picture, and the focus here are the 5-6 teams and the Giants who are on the outside looking in. The Atlanta Falcons, with a win today and a loss by the Giants, wrap up a playoff berth. And a Falcon and Giant win, and it's still going at it, and Atlanta can even move ahead of New Orleans if the Saints lose to Cincinnati, but they lead 3-0 over the Bengals. And the Giants leading 3-0 in their game. A Giant win and a Falcon loss, and Atlanta right now would be out of the playoffs as Warwick Dunn hitting the middle of the line for 2 yards. No score, and the Falcons threaten here. In the last 7 games, Warwick Dunn has raised his level, and you talked about how Mike Vick has to raise his level today.
Yeah, he really does. This team will live and die with the performance of Mike Vick, and one of the things that's going to help him out is the performance of Warwick Dunn. And those numbers you see right there in the beginning of the season, they were working a lot with T.J. Duckett and Warwick Dunn. A nice little changeup, but T.J. Duckett has been nicked up. This is Warwick Dunn's day this afternoon.
Third down, and the ball batted down. And it was Kalimba Edwards, the impressive rookie from South Carolina, and now scrapping Chris Claiborne on top of Keenan Forney. And Kelvin Pritchett. Well, bad blood early between these two teams, and the Detroit Lions just looking to be spoilers today.
Well, you know, the Detroit Lions don't have anything to play for a playoff spot, but as a player going onto the football field in situations like this, you are playing in a game that's going to be watched by people all around the NFL as players, your peers on film, and then also the people at home watching on TV. And you want to go out and be competitive and give your best. So Atlanta cannot fall into the trap to think that Detroit will show up today without emotion and not want to win this football game.
Let's see the scuffle. We see Sean Rogers with his helmet off, and the penalty preliminary signal already called against the Lions.
Well, I don't know what happened up until this point, but Keenan Forney is just trying to get Kelvin Pritchett off the top of him.
93 defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
And all Forney's trying to do is just to defend himself. He's on the bottom of that, and he may be holding on to the face mask, but Kelvin Pritchett guilty of the personal unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
And it's very difficult as a guy in the football field. When that situation happens, your manhood is being challenged by somebody on the other team. But you see Marty Morningweg right there. He is not going to put up with that. You have to be emotional. You have to be physical on the football field, but you've got to be smart. In that situation, Keenan Forney was smarter than Kelvin Pritchett for not retaliating.
And Travis Kershke, number 67, replaces Pritchett. Remember, Luther Ellis out for the year with an ankle injury on IR, so it'll be first and goal on the 7-yard line. And here's Bob Christian, and Christian banging his way to about the 5-yard line. And second down and goal coming up.
And this is the area of the football field where the added dimension that Mike Vick brings to an offense really pays dividends. You get overloaded fronts. You put Bob Christian, your fullback, back at the top of the eye in a single back set, and you look like you're going to pound the football. They will run play actions off of that. And the big concern that Kurt Schottenheimer, the defensive coordinator for the Lions, had, he expects 10 to 12 called quarterback runs during the course of the game today.
And why not? Play fake, and here is Mike Vick, and again a pass batted down by Kalimba Edwards. So Edwards getting a hand up and timing those passes by Mike Vick perfectly, And 3rd and goal upcoming for the Falcons.
Well, the one thing that you don't want to do with Mike Vick is pressure him to the point where you open up your lanes, and you could see Kalimba Edwards right there playing very, very smart, not chasing the flow away from him, kind of mirroring what Mike Vick did. He came out, stayed right in his face, and as he went to throw the ball, got his hands up, blocked one of those throwing lanes.
Kalimba Edwards, who's 6 feet 5 inches tall, and now the Falcons with their 12th play of the drive. And the Lions trying to hold here and force the Falcons to attempt the field goal. 3rd down and goal at the 5. And here is Vick, and his pass incomplete, and a very difficult throw indeed to try to get it to Trevor Gaylor, who was covered by Andre Goodman. So 4th down upcoming.
And that's one of the plays that I'm not really a big fan of down here in the red zone. You put a bunch formation to one side, and yeah, you've got kind of a one-on-one situation on the backside, but that needs to be a perfect throw and catch, something that a quarterback and a receiver develop over years and years of time working together.
Chad Hutchinson tried one of those last night against the Eagles.
Yeah, we saw an ill-conceived play on 4th down by the Cowboys last night in a similar situation, and you might as well just flip the coin. Half the times you're going to make it, half the times you're not. I think there's better options in that situation.
So Jay Feely with a 23-yard attempt to try to give the Falcons the lead, and he does. So Warren Dunn does most of the damage, and Feely gives Atlanta a 3-0 lead. Falcons lead 3-0, and there's Charles Haley, who had a few words for Kelvin Pritchett, who was guilty of a penalty that put the Falcons in prime position to take the lead. So the Atlanta Falcons, after going 16 games and not scoring on the opening drive of a game, do so on a very impressive drive that went 5.5 minutes. And Feely's kickoff, again Eddie Drummond returning for the Lions, starting from the 5, and he won't get past the 20. And a good hit by John Dale Carty of the Atlanta Falcons on special teams. Head coach Dan Reeves of the Falcons trying to bring Atlanta home for their first playoff berth since they went to the Super Bowl 4 years ago. 85-yard, 12-play drive, and Atlanta takes the 3-0 lead. And the Cincinnati Bengals are leading the New Orleans Saints 7-3 in the first quarter of their game. And everyone will be watching that game, plus the Giant Colt battle. First down at the 20-yard line for the Lions, who lined up with 3 wide receivers. Short drop. McMahon lost his footing and then loses it totally, and a loss of 7 yards as we check in with James Brown for our first game break of the day. What an honor.
I know you know the playoff scenario well. Take a look here at Cincinnati. Coming up with a big touchdown strike here. John Pittman to the slot receiver, Peter Ward. He takes it 30 yards to pay dirt. It's Cincinnati up by 4. And in that New York Giants-Colts game, the Giants right now have a field goal lead over the Colts. We know the Giants need to win out and look for help. Back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, reminds me of growing up at the Polo Grounds, watching other scores come in, and the big games as James Stewart goes nowhere on 2nd down. So after the loss by McMahon of 7 yards, the Falcon defense stopping James Stewart, who comes into the game needing 38 yards to go over the 1,000 mark in the season.
Yeah, very quietly doing a nice job for the Detroit Lions in a season where not a lot of things have gone right. James Stewart is having a fine season, running behind an offensive line that I think is underrated across the NFL.
Ray Buchanan, who did not start at cornerback because of a strained abdomen, is in the game as a safety in the nickel situation. 3rd down and 18. McMahon running for his life, and McMahon firing downfield, and in stride, Bill Schrader makes the catch and goes out of bounds, and they will mark it in Atlanta territory at the 43-yard line. So a big pass and run, McMahon to Schrader, and that's the element that Mike McMahon gives this team.
He really is. He's similar to Michael Vick. He is an athlete playing the quarterback position, and he's got a lot of raw talent. You see right there the presence, but here's the great thing. Look at this throw on the move. He hits Bill Schrader right in stride, and we'll have to see if Bill Schrader's okay. He pulled up and went out of bounds a little bit early on that one.
46-yard gain, and here's James Stewart trying to turn the corner, and Stewart gets knocked out of bounds by Kevin McAdam, the strong safety. And a rookie starting the game. A 7-yard pickup for Stewart. And the Lions trying to answer the Falcons' field goal on their opening drive.
Well, I don't think there's anything that's going to happen during the course of the game today that's going to faze Mike McMahon. He's just one of those carefree spirits and loves the opportunity to be out on the field and in front of a big stage and have the opportunity to perform in a third and long situation. That's no big deal to Mike McMahon. He'll try and make something happen.
He wants to have fun, and Bill Schrader apparently all right. You saw him back in the huddle, 2nd down and 3, and McMahon dumps it off to Stewart, and Stewart gets by one tackler. He'll have the 1st down. And he is brought down at the 26 of the Falcons.
And this is one of the reasons that James Stewart was sorely missed last week, the ability to get into the screen plays. You've seen him running the football already this afternoon. And you talk about injuries, and I think injuries are something that, yeah, everybody understands. It's part of the NFL. It's part of the game. But this Detroit Lion team has been decimated by injuries this year. And when you get to the level that they've been hit, it's going to have a negative impact on your team.
And usually it's the losing teams that do happen to suffer the most injuries. 1st down at the 26 of the Falcons, and here is McMahon, and he drills it incomplete. He was going for Scotty Anderson, who is starting today in place of Jermaine Crowell, who is playing today and has come in as a 3rd wide receiver. So 2nd down and 10 for the Lions.
And it'll be fun to watch Mike McMahon and Scotty Anderson during the course of the game. You can see him hanging in the pocket right there, taking the big shot. These guys came in together. They have a rapport that they have established. Scotty Anderson gets the start over Jermaine Crowell this afternoon. You know that he's going to be the guy Mike McMahon is looking for.
Both were drafted on the 5th round, and they do have that simpatico with each other. And there is McMahon in the pocket, and his pass nearly intercepted by Keon Carpenter. The pass was short and intended for Schrader. And fortunately for the Lions, Schrader complaining that he was interfered with.
Mike McMahon very fortunate right here. A pass down the middle of the field. Plenty of time for Keon Carpenter to get over and make a play on that ball. If that ball is thrown where it would have been needed to throw, be caught by Bill Schrader, Keon Carpenter's got an interception.
And Carpenter among the walking wounded for the Falcons, playing with a toe injury himself. Lions with 3rd down and 10. Out of the shotgun is McMahon. And rolling out to the right, and here's McMahon, and he fires it out of bounds. Jermaine Crowell, the closest receiver. So 4th down coming up, and Jason Hansen will come on to try to tie the game.
That's the element that you will see in the Detroit Lions offensive attack with Mike McMahon, and that you don't see a lot with Joey Harrington in there. They're moving the pocket, doing some bootlegs, doing different things to take advantage of the strengths of Mike McMahon, which is throwing on the move.
Hansen connected on his 1 field goal attempt last week in the loss to Tampa Bay. And a very well played game by the Lions. A 44-yard attempt. And Hansen's kick is no good. He hooked it. And the snap was a little behind the holder, John Jett. I don't know if that made the difference. But anyway, the Falcons hold on to the 3-0 lead.
Brought to you by DirecTV. Movies, music, and exclusive sports from the leader in digital satellite entertainment. By the new H2, Hummer like nothing else. By Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better, Dr. Pepper. And by Office Depot. What you need to know.
Handling that poor snap, it was a little bit on his right shoulder, gets it down. Jason Hansen just pulls it to the left. So good job by John Jett getting it down.
5th miss by Hansen as the Falcons holding on to the lead. Give it to Warwick Dunn. And Dunn getting nearly 5 yards with Travis Kershke in on the stop. The Atlanta Falcons trying to end a 2-game losing streak. And this has been a revival year thanks to Mike Vick. No question about it. Talked about the fact that he's going to the Pro Bowl. And Ron Pitt's already telling us that the best-selling player's uniform in the NFL now is owned by number 7 Mike Vick. 2nd down and 6 in the pocket. Pass tipped incomplete. Intended for Quentin McCord as we check in with James Brown for a game break.
All right, Dick, take a look at how the New Orleans Saints retook the lead. Aaron Brooks faking one way, coming back on the deep end. Great timing, hooking up with Dante Stallworth, who takes it 57 yards for the touchdown. And New Orleans back on top by 3. Back to Dick, Darrell, and Ron.
Saints don't need any help. A victory today over the Bengals, and they are in the NFC playoffs. 3rd down and 6 on the 38 of Atlanta. Out of the shotgun, and plenty of time for Mike Vick, and the pass caught by Dunn out of the backfield. He has a first down at the 47. Pickup of 9 yards, and Warwick Dunn has been the productive Falcon thus far on offense.
One of the reasons that the Atlanta Falcons use their tight end so much, you see L.J. Crumpler right there going against Robert Porcher. Now that is going to be important today because he is coming from the blind side of Mike Vick, and they're extending the distance out to extend that corner so he can't get to him as quick as he normally would.
61 yards total offense already for Warwick Dunn. Falcons first down on their own 47. Play fake, and there's Kalimba Edwards in front of Vick. He gets rid of it, and the ball off the hands of Brian Finnering. Incomplete. So once again, you got Kalimba Edwards, and you wonder if he is the designated spy so far in this game on Vick.
Boy, we talk about the athleticism of Mike Vick, and in the first quarter already, we've seen it matched by Kalimba Edwards. And here he is right here. He's fighting off the block. Watch him shift out now, and he doesn't leave his feet. Shuffles, stays right in front of Mike Vick, and again, almost gets his hands up to knock down another football.
2nd and 10, but Mike Vick, his accuracy a little bit off mark the last several weeks, trying to get it back. And the short drop, and once again hitting Quentin McCord on the slant. This time from the right side, and a pickup of 18 yards, and the Falcons continue to make good on the big plays, and a first down on the 35.
And this is one of the areas that I think that Mike Vick is a little bit ahead of the curve that Donovan McNabb was in his first year as a starter for the Eagles. The ability to hit the receiver on the move, especially in these quick slant areas, and allow them the opportunity to split coverages down the field.
And that's saying a mouthful to say that ahead of Donovan McNabb, injured right now, but he has been the spearheading the Eagle efforts. They're the #1 seed. On the delay, here is Dunn, and Dunn picking up 2 yards on first down.
Well, I think one of the things that he did in the offseason, he knew that last year some of the balls kind of sailed on him. He short hopped a few. One of the things he wanted to do was work on his accuracy. He knew that in the NFL the windows were not as big as they were on the college level, and he went back. He took a look at his footwork on film, and one of the things he noticed is his feet were in bad position. One of the things he worked on more than anything was his foot positioning and delivering the ball as he stepped into it in the offseason.
Most observers will tell you he's made it a lot faster than people had anticipated. And on the hard count, this could be a free play for the Falcons. The Lions are going offside, and the throw was tossed over the head of Algie Crumpler, incomplete. The penalty will be against the Lions, and it'll be offside.
Going back and looking at the film, Mike Vick last year, we're going to show you 2 instances right here. We're going to freeze it so you can see his feet at the point of delivery. Right here, look as he's stepping into the throw on this one. Here, he's up on his toes. His weight is back. It's a different style of throwing, and you see the reactions. Look at the different reactions right here. A little bit of frustration on the right side. Pretty good on the left. But that was the big difference that he saw. And a lot of people will think it's arm, it's a lot of different things, but for him, it's all about his feet.
And that's why you got to look at film and tape and look at mechanics and always go back to it, because you can get out of order pretty soon. But he made big strides there. 5-yard penalty against Kelvin Pritchett for going offside. 2nd down, and this pass off the hands of Warwick Dunn. So some of the passes have been off the mark by Mike Vick, and some, frankly, have not been caught by Falcon receivers.
Yeah, and I tell you, it must be hard because his motion is so simplistic, and the velocity on the ball is so much that it doesn't go in sync in your head when you're on your route and you see Mike Vick just kind of flick the ball towards you, and then all of a sudden it is right on top of you. Look how effortless he throws that ball, and it is on top of you immediately.
Remember, he's playing with that bruised left thumb that he said does affect him. It does hurt him, and he tries to block out the pain. Sometimes easier said than done. 3rd down and 3, empty backfield, and Vick trying the slant. It's tipped and intercepted by the Lions. And it's Jeff Gooch, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Let's see who has it. And the interception will give the ball back to the Detroit Lions on the tip ball.
And this is the danger when you're throwing these quick inside routes. If you get them up high, there are too many athletes out on the football field that will come down with that tip ball.
So the Lions get a turnover.
Is that a waterman bag? Nice phone. I gotta get a cordless headset. Hold it!
Funny how the holidays turn even the most serious business people into kids again. Consider Office Depot your toy store, because our people know exactly what business people want for the holidays. And we offer a wide variety of gifts at great prices. Office Depot, what you need to know.
The guys are counting on me.
Gotta go.
Just one night.
Just one night.
Nice pants.
Nice pants.
Nice pants.
Hi.
Nice pants. What have they been?
Presenting Docker's Go Khaki with Stain Defender.
See?
I am the Black & Decker cordless multi-tool. I can do just about anything. I can saw, I can sand, I can even drill. I'm a one-man construction crew. I am the multi-tool.
Now with circ saw and router attachments, available in kits of 3 or 5.
Got a buck? You're in luck. With juicy, ripe tomato, crisp leaf of lettuce, a big beefy patty. Ah, the irresistible big and tasty. One of many incredible tastes. Every day, only on McDonald's Dollar Menu.
I'm a player in the National Football League, but that is not who I am. I'm a member of a community dedicated to making a difference in people's lives.
I'm a player in the National Football League.
Happy holidays to our viewers, and hope you're enjoying this Sunday as Week 16 with several interesting matchups, including this one with the Falcons trying to get into the playoffs. First down for the Lions following the turnover, and James Stewart running out to the 36-yard line. I don't remember a season in which you go down the stretch and teams that supposedly are out of it are not only winning, but giving teams that are contenders more than they can handle. Do you?
Well, we've got the parity that everybody hoped free agency and the salary cap would provide in the NFL. And there's a lot of cities right now that are able to cheer for their football team that maybe would not have been able to just a few years ago. It's a different system, but I think that this is what the NFL wanted to create in the month of December when it was put into place.
On 2nd and 4, fullback Corey Schlesinger with his first carry of the game will come up short, and 3rd down coming up. And one of the big problems for the Lions has been time of possession all season.
Yeah, and you look at those are all last in the NFL, and that is what happens when you've got young people at key positions. You struggle offensively. Defenses are always a little bit ahead of the offense, and these things are going to pay dividends down the road, but it's the same thing week in and week out. We've got it again here in the first quarter. Less than 5 minutes time of possession.
3rd down and 2 for the Lions on their 38-yard line. And here is McMahon, and he finds Schlesinger, the fullback, open for the first down and more. And it looked like Schlesinger had a wide open lane down the right side, gaining 21 yards in all, and a first down into Atlanta territory.
And this guy does not get enough credit around the NFL for the way he plays the fullback position. Everybody you talk to on the Detroit Lions say how important he is to this football team, not only what he does as a blocker, but his leadership ability. Keon Carpenter did the smart thing right there. I'm going to get down and get underneath his pad level because he will just truck me in the open field.
Steve Brookings said, I voted for Schlesinger as the Pro Bowl fullback. We'll get into that a little more later on. He goes in motion, and the pitch to James Stewart off the right side, and Stewart goes down and will lose a pair. And that should be the last play of the first quarter as the Falcons clinging to the 3-0 lead, scoring on their opening drive of the game. The end of the first quarter, Falcons leading the Lions 3-0.
Another holiday on the credit card, huh? Yeah, my balance is really piling up. But I'll worry about that in January. You could get a Capital One no-hassle card. Nah.
High interest charges running up your balance? Get the Capital One no-hassle card for the nation's lowest long-term fixed rates, $0 fraud liability, and no telemarketing.
What's in your wallet?
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Chrysler invites you to preview our holiday collection, featuring our best-selling collection of minivans, now with a special holiday bonus. Now choose one of 3 Sony personal entertainment packages when you buy any new Town & Country minivan. Plus get 0% financing for 60 months on select minivans. Or choose cash allowances up to $3,500. But hurry, this invitation ends January 2nd, so see your Chrysler dealer today.
Have plenty of power for toys and gifts with Energizer Max batteries from Menards. 4C or D size or 2 9-volts are $2.99 after rebate. 8 double or triple A's are $3.49 after rebate. And check out these great last-minute gift ideas. This snowboard is just $19.87. Soothe tired feet with this heated massaging foot spa by Waterpik, $27.97. A matching pillow and throw set is $13.79. Can't decide? Give a Menard gift card.
More season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Emmy Award winner Michael Chiklis is back. The Shield, an all-new season, January on FX.
Back at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, 2 head coaches and 1 prospective head coach. Right in the middle, who knows? Maybe he'll meet an owner in a private airport and talk about a contract. You never know when the Falcon mascot.
They weren't discussing contracts. They were talking about the way that the NFL has shifted.
And it takes 5 hours to do all that.
There's a lot of change.
Second quarter begins. Dick Stockton, Darrell Johnston, and Ron Pitts. 2nd and 11 for the Lions. An audible called by Mike McMahon. And McMahon being pushed back some more and finally throws it away. Travis Hall making life difficult for McMahon on 1st down. Or 2nd down, bringing up 3rd and 11.
And that is the thing that Mike McMahon wants to be able to do. He likes to extend the play and give his receivers an opportunity. And you see some of the savvy that he's acquired in just his 2nd year in the NFL, moving outside of the pocket and throwing the ball away. If you're going to be a mobile quarterback, you've got to know the rules and when you can get rid of the ball and not force it into areas where you have a chance for a turnover.
McMahon is the first ever quarterback from Rutgers drafted in the NFL. This is his 3rd stint as a starter in the last 2 years, but he knows Joey Harrington, who had the irregular heartbeat, will be the man next year. 3rd down, and a flag goes down as delay of the game will be talked.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down and longer for Marty Morenwake's crew.
Those are some of the penalties you have to eliminate when your team struggling to find its identity, trying to get through a difficult time. You can't do things that are putting yourself into bad positions. And I can tell you what, right now as a head coach, those drive them more crazy than the holding penalties or the personal fouls that are just part of the game of football.
3rd and 16. And McMahon decides to go out to Stewart. Nowhere to go for Stewart. And when all is said and done, no gain on the play. Keith Brooking with good pursuit outside, covering the Lion running back, and Detroit will have to send in their kicker. There's been 1 turnover. The Lions got it on an interception but could not make hay with that, and so Jet will punt, and Allen Rossum goes back deep for the Falcons. And a short kick. And if it gets inside the 20, that'll be what Jet wanted, and it does. It takes a Lion bounce finally after a couple of high hops. And the Falcons will start from inside their 15 when we return.
Wow.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Circuit City. We're with you. By Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time. By Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by K Jewelers. This holiday season, shop K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
Well, right now the Atlanta Falcons are on the right track trying to get a playoff berth. The Giants lead the Colts 10-0, and so if the Giants win, and even if Atlanta wins, that race is not over. Meanwhile, the Falcons begin from their own 14-yard line, and here is Warwick Dunn. And James Hall is there to meet him after a gain of 4.
Well, on that last punt, Kevin Mathis working against Larry Foster on the outside right here. You never want to let the punt hit the ground, especially inside the 20, but Allen Rossum had no opportunity right there. Larry Foster does a nice job of pushing Kevin Mathis back into him.
I hope he said excuse me. 2nd down and 6 for Atlanta. George Lane, last 2 possessions, has been in at fullback for Bob Christian. And here is Vick spinning his way out and finding Warwick Dunn, and Dunn is tackled at the 21-yard line. The Falcons are shy of the 1st down thanks to Corey Harris with the tackle, as we check in with James Brown for a Fox game break.
Hey, Dick, a couple of big catches by Jeremy Shockey on this drive led to this 4-yard TD run, the 10th rushing touchdown of the season for Tiki Barber. The Giants ahead 10-0. I tell you, Jeremy Shockey is absolutely sensational, Dick. You guys know that already. Back to Dick and Darryl.
We do, and a rookie going to the Pro Bowl for the NFC.
Yeah, maybe another guy that got overlooked. Tiki Barber had a great year, and he was not invited to the Pro Bowl this season.
3rd down and 2. Crowd looking for a pass interference call. Trevor Gaylor defended by Andre Goodman, who just simply made a terrific play.
Well, he had an opportunity last week to make a play in the game that would have been huge. You can see he's all bandaged up on the outside. I like it when the officials allow the guys on the outside to play the game of football physically. And that was the case right there. It's good timing. They're battling. Both guys going for the ball. Just let them play on the outside.
I think the fans enjoy it and the players understand it, and they call it the same way. Chris Moore with his first punt of the day, and Eddie Drummond in traffic calls for the fair catch. So early here in the 2nd quarter, it's still a field goal difference.
Now
back here at the Georgia Dome, the Lions with a 1st down on their 40. James Stewart out of the game right now, and Raphael Cooper, who averaged over 6 yards a carry last week against the Bucs, is in at wide receiver. But this pass is caught by Scotty Anderson, who got by the defender somehow and picked up 19 yards for the 1st down to the 42-yard line of Atlanta.
Well, there's the guy that they wanted to attack, Jerome Bolden, and there's Ty Detmer. He's going to signal the plays into Mike McMahon, and he's going to give him some reminders in certain situations to help him out. And that's a great guy to have on the sideline who's been on the football field, played in NFL games, just to get a little bit of information at pre-snap.
And another good guy to have in there is James Stewart, not so much for the result, but for his presence. And Stewart is hit by Chris Draft and a loss of 1 yard for the Lions. I tell you, Mike McMahon has been a very poised quarterback out there today. I know he has you know, the penchant for you know, getting a little skittery under certain times, but he has been under control today.
He really has. And Marty Morningweg talked about him being very raw at this point, but over the next 2 to 3 years being able to develop him. He sees things similar to what he saw in Brett Favre with the athletic ability and the confidence in his arm and playmaking ability.
Avion Kaysen, the running back, split to the right, and McMahon going his way, but the pass is overthrown. And 3rd down and 11 coming up for the Lions. Falcons leading 3-0. They scored on the opening possession of the game, going 85 yards and 12 carries, and Jay Feely with a 23-yard field goal as Ray Buchanan forced into nickel situations today, not as a cornerback, but as a safety.
Yeah, a very tough decision for Ray Buchanan to make. He wanted to be on the field the last few weeks, but he hasn't been healthy, and playing the cornerback position or in the slot in the nickel, that abdomen strain that he has is really affected. They've moved him back to safety so he doesn't have the lateral movement.
3rd down and 11 out of the shotgun. Here comes the blitz on McMahon, and down he goes back at his own 49. It was Ellis Johnson, but before that, Fred Weary put the pressure on from outside, and they lose 8.
Well, Ellis Johnson comes all the way around on the game. A little cross right there. Fred Weary picked up by Matt Joyce, but nobody left to pick up Ellis Johnson. He comes in unblocked on a 3-man game in the inside of the line.
So the Falcons send the posse, and that forces John Jett to kick it away. Falcons defense doing a superb job keeping the Lions at bay thus far. Allen Rawson to return for the Falcons. A good kick. And the fair catch by Rawson right about the 15-yard line. Still a tight game with so much on the line.
There seems to be a problem with Wendy's Bacon Swiss Cheeseburger and Wendy's Chicken Bacon Swiss. They each have hickory smoked bacon and Swiss, but which one do you choose?
Sir, you need to pick one. We're closing.
Wendy's, it's better here.
The Braun Synchro gives you Braun's closest shave ever. And its automatic self-cleaning system leaves your shaver so clean, it feels like new every day.
Sorry.
It's okay. Stop! Tim here is on his first date, and his family has some advice. With T-Mobile, families can talk all they want. Bull.
Hello?
Let her win.
Hello?
Tell her she smells nice.
Hello?
Does she come from money?
Hello?
Does she have a sister?
Wrong number.
Families talk free. Additional lines just $10. Only from T-Mobile.
Get more.
Morning, William.
CJ.
Hey, how you doing?
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Looks like somebody got a haircut.
Was it too short?
They're always glad you came.
Yeah. Hey, no, you can't drive the truck.
See you tomorrow, Bobby.
Can you come in and play?
Who can you count on? You know them by name.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Saturday, it's a Fox NFL special beginning with America's favorite pregame show as JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy get you ready for kickoff. Then the Eagles, who need a win for wild card throughout the NFC playoffs against the Giants, who could be still very much alive.
Just amazing what the New York Giants have done. They had an opportunity to make a move, lose 2 close games. Everybody thinks they're out. Now they've played themselves right back into it.
They have won 3 in a row. And from the 15-yard line, Warwick Dunn going outside and pushed out of bounds. It was great to talk to Mike Vick the other day, who, of course, was on cloud 9 after being named to the Pro Bowl. And he told us that when he was a kid, he says, I used to have 14 or 15 kids chasing me playing hide and go seek. That's probably where it all started for him, Moose. He said they couldn't find me. They couldn't catch me. And even as a kid, he was an elusive young fellow.
Yeah, it must be nice being able to grow up your entire childhood and never hear the words, tag, you're it.
That's right. And he said that many times I'd be hiding under the bed had wheels, and I'd just slide with it, so no one would come close to finding me. 2nd down and 7. And Vick going the other way, and he has a wide open receiver, and it's Reggie Kelly, who's known for his blocking more as receiving. And the Falcons, with a comeback pattern, pick up 21 yards close to the 40.
And this is one of the things that you have to worry about with Mike Vick. He's going to come right there's Reggie Kelly in the middle of the field. The tight end blocks down, gets caught in all the wash as it goes away. They lose him in coverage. He was actually on the ground. They slipped that tight end all the way across the formation to the backside. One of the biggest plays that this Atlanta offense has because of Mike Vick's ability is those throwback passes across the field. That was a short one. We've actually seen him even go farther down the field.
Falcons picking up the 1st down on their 39, and the pitch to Warwick Dunn. And Dunn trying to change direction. And Dunn picking up 3 yards on the play. Good defense by Pritchett and Claiborne. Well, Mike Vick was out on the field yesterday. The winners of an after-school flag football tournament for boys and girls clubs, age 6 through 14. And he's very active in boys and girls clubs around the Atlanta area. He's a club alumnus and pledged $200 per touchdown to Metro Atlanta Boys and Girls Club. Great to see it.
And there's the best part of the afternoon for Mike Vick right there. Just having a good time with those young guys on the football field. As good as he is on the football field, he is that good here in the Atlanta community. And that's a win-win for this organization.
2nd and 7, Warwick Dunn trying to wend his way for yardage. And he picks up 2. Travis Kershke making the tackle. Other than the opening possession of the game when Warwick Dunn found some solid running room, including a 22-yard run. The Lions defense has done a good job of not letting him loose.
Well, we saw Charles Haley, the defensive line coach, talking to several of his players. In today's game, the run game is really shut down by your interior defensive linemen. Those are the guys who are going to clog the lane. So it looks as though they've made an adjustment since that opening drive when Warwick had such a good start.
3rd down and 5. And here's the big flick. And it's complete to Quentin McCord. And it appears that he has enough of the first down to midfield. Lamar Campbell was defending on the play. And it depends where they spot the ball. And now they move it back. So we may have a measurement here.
And this is going to be the most important part of this play is where did Quentin McCord go out of bounds? He was close to the yard marker there, and he gets pulled backwards. So it looks as though Dan Reeves has a case that his forward progress was beyond the point that they marked the ball initially.
And it is a first down for the Falcons. 6-yard pass play. Dan Reeves, whose Falcons went 14-2 when they went to the Super Bowl 33, and since then experiencing 3 losing seasons. They improved to 7-9 last year. Mike Vick's first year, playing 8 games, and now crashing through 8-5-1, including an 8-game span in which they did not lose a game. First down midfield for the Falcons, and the pitch to Dunn, going outside and wrestled down. And Chris Claiborne, the middle linebacker, doing a terrific job of pursuing, and a loss of 4.
Chris Claiborne, seeing the play going away, does a nice job of finding an open lane all the way through the blocking scheme. And here he is right in the middle. You watch him when he sees Flo go. He just hits it on the run. Does a great job of sifting his way through that entire group of offensive linemen right to work done.
This Detroit Lion club, you mentioned the injuries. They have lost a lot of close games, but the fans have been antsy, considering the 2-14 season a year ago and some heartbreaking losses this year. 2nd down and 14. 4 wide receivers for Mike Vick. Stepping up the time, and he's got an open man. And the pass is caught by McCord. And the flag goes down, and McCord finally taken down by 3 Lions inside the 15. So it's Quentin McCord who becomes the favorite receiver for Mike Vick. And a penalty marker down. That'll be 41 yards and maybe more tacked on.
Quentin McCord just on a simple vertical go route. We're going to get a face mask put on top of this. And Mike Vick, if he gets that ball out a little bit farther in front of him, they've got a touchdown.
Personal foul, face mask, 35, defense. Pass the distance to the goal. First down.
You see right there, Andre Goodman going up, his hand gets caught on that face mask, and he does not get it off. But you see right there, Quentin McCord had the weight on that football. If Michael Vick gets that out a little bit farther in front of him, they've got a touchdown.
McCord caught only 1 pass this season coming into this game. And he has caught 3 for 50 yards and a first down. Actually more than that, and it's going to be a first down inside the 10. They'll mark it half the distance.
I like the way at the end of that route, Quentin McCord does a great job of securing the football. He's got 3 Detroit Lion defenders coming in. His progress is stopped. That's when you have to know that the second guy, the third guy coming in, they're going for the football. And he got it tucked away and secured very well.
4 catches for 91 yards for McCord. First and goal for the Falcons on the Lions 6. Christian, the fullback, and here is Warwick Dunn, and Dunn goes down, will lose 3 yards thanks to Barrett Green, the Lion linebacker. Their linebacking core very active in this first half.
They are doing a tremendous job of just firing through the gaps and beating the down blocks. And right there, Barrett Green fights through the block by Bob Whitfield and gets into the backfield, relentless in his pursuit to the football. And I tell you what, you wouldn't know that the Detroit Lions have a 3-11 record the way they're playing this afternoon.
Well, Marty Morenwick told us last night, Darryl, he says, look, we laid it on the line every week. And, you know, yes, against Tampa Bay, 10 starters in their first or second year. But it's been the long haul with only 3 victories. And Mike Vick, as the play clock runs down, will call the timeout, the first of the game for Atlanta with under 7 minutes to go in this first half. Falcons trying to increase their 3-0 lead. Well, coming this February, NASCAR on Fox returns with the 45th running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. Tony Stewart leads the world's best drivers, while Mike Joy, Darrell Waltrip, and Larry McReynolds return for another season of high-speed racing and fun. The Daytona 500 drops the flag on 15 weeks of NASCAR coverage, returning this February only on Fox. A lot of NASCAR fans here in Atlanta, and Joe Gibbs was on the field before the game. And what kind of a giant has he become in NASCAR?
Yeah, he moves out of the NFL and winning championships here, and then moves right into auto racing and taking that same approach and style that was so successful in the NFL and doing the same thing on the racing circuit.
And Tony Stewart is his man. So he won the championship this year. Second and goal on the 9. Mike Vick, by the way, has carried only once for 2 yards. Following the timeout, here's Warwick Dunn, and Dunn will dive to about the 5. And Andre Goodman, the rookie cornerback, as Dan Reeves looks for the next play. 3rd down and goal.
An important drive right here for the Atlanta Falcons. They have controlled the flow of the game so far, moving the football, but only have 3 points to show for it. The longer you keep a team that is struggling and really doesn't have anything to play for, the more dangerous this football game becomes. If they can get a sizable lead going into halftime, this will be a much different Detroit Lion football team walking out for the second half kickoff.
And the Lions will have something to say about that. They have a 3-man line on 3rd down and goal from the 5. And here is Vick. Vick driving back, and his throw will be way past the end zone. So once again, the Lions doing a good job. The crowd not pleased with the Falcons' inability to get the 6, and they'll bring their field goal team on.
Well, what they're doing to Mike Vick right now is frustrating him, because they don't want to pressure him and sack him as much as they want to corral him and not allow him the running lanes to break the plays. You just mentioned he's only got 1 carry for 2 yards, and a lot of his carries will come as the play breaks down or the lane opens up in front of him. The Detroit Lions being very, very disciplined in their approach to corralling Mike Vick.
Here's Jay Feely, whose percentage is higher on the road than it is here at the Georgia Dome. Will attempt a 23-yard field goal, and the kick is good. And Feely accounting for both Falcons scores, and it is 6-0 Atlanta.
Gina? You know, when I was first hired, we didn't have all these fancy integrated systems. Our sales program wasn't even linked with accounting. Warehouse platform in Chicago wasn't linked to anything, not even shipping. Back then, orders took days. Now they just take hours.
Wow, how long have you been working here?
A couple of months now.
Oh.
With Microsoft Server software, you can quickly connect all aspects of your business. That's software for the agile business from Microsoft.
Life is full of difficult choices, and some not so difficult. When you purchase an elegantly redesigned mid-size 2003 Saturn L Series, you can choose $2,500 toward your down payment. Or get 0% financing, 0 down payment, and 0 payments for 90 days. Unfortunately, this not-so-difficult choice ends January 2nd. Purchase a 2003 Saturn L Series and get $2,500 toward down payment, or 0% APR, 0 down payment, and 0 monthly payment for 90 days. See participating retailer for restrictions.
It's the last days of shopping and you don't have a thing. You waited too long to start. The Radio Shack sale's happening right now. It's right around the block.
Procrastinators, save your holiday with a $400 Radio Shack shopping spree for just $10 per month with your Radio Shack Answers Plus credit card. Get great gifts like DVD players, digital cameras, home theater, satellite TV, RC cars, and next-generation color wireless phones.
Shop right now. Yeah. Save real big on the Procrastinator sale. Radio Shack.
The talent is hotter.
What's going on? What's going on?
The stakes are higher.
I didn't think it was that bad.
And the excitement is bigger than ever.
See you in Hollywood.
I can't believe it. I made it!
The next American Idol. Be there from the first note to the final vote. Tuesday, January 21st on Fox.
Well, there's a family very happy with the way things are going for them.
Yeah, very proud. You see the proud mom right there. But as we pan out, we see Dad, the disciplinarian in the family. Carrie needs to clean her room. So now,
and
hopefully she sits a little bit behind because of the holiday season.
Put your things away. Put this kick away into the end zone for the touchback, and the Lions will take it out at the 20-yard line as the Lions did a terrific job in holding the Falcons out of the end zone. And so it is a 6-0 lead right now. The scoring drive, Vic completed 3 of 4 for 68 yards, but couldn't get it into the end zone. So now the Lions go to work on the 20-yard line.
That is their second 80-plus yard scoring drive and over 5 minutes time of possession on each one of these drives, but they've only got 6 points to show for it.
First down, Raphael Cooper is the running back, and the handoff is to Cooper, and Cooper jitterbugging his way out the left side and picking up a couple with Keith Brooking right there.
And one of the good things about Keith Brooking, you see right there, there's no blood pouring down his nose. And when we talked to him on Friday, he didn't have that big cut on the bridge of his nose. And this is last season. And to prevent this from happening, to prevent that helmet from coming down and hitting him on the bridge of the nose, they've added another snap. That white circled snap is the new one. It secures the helmet much more tightly, so when he makes contact, that bar across the top does not come down and hit the bridge of his nose.
A lot of people don't like the sight of blood, so they won't get it as Corey Schlesinger dives to the 26-yard line, picking up 4 yards on the play. Interesting, talking to Keith Brooking on Friday. Of course, he is going to the Pro Bowl, very proud of that, and he says there was a team meeting, and Dan Reeves was talking to the club, and he said they dismissed us, and he said Reeves almost forgot to tell me that I made the Pro Bowl. He was walking away, and finally he said, oh yes, one other thing, you're going to Hawaii.
But unfortunately, a lot of the family's not going with him this year.
3rd down and 3 on the 27, and the pass out on the flat to Michael Riggs, and the first reception of the day for the tight end, who will be a Pro Bowl alternate for the Lions, gets 5. And the first down. Yeah, he's going to take his parents and his girlfriend. And the last time he was there as an alternate, had a whole slew of guests, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And but you got to do that. The first time you get to go over there, it's not just about you. It's about giving everybody the opportunity to go over and enjoy that that honor and get a chance to see the lovely state of Hawaii.
First down and 10. Our producer Bob Stenner lives in that state. How great does he have it? And that pass by McMahon was deflected at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 with under 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Dick Stockton, Darrell Johnston, Ron Pitts. 6-0 Atlanta.
Well, right now the Detroit Lions are not challenging the Atlanta Falcons defense in the areas that they struggled the last 2 weeks, going against teams that run a lot of underneath and crossing routes. Everything that they have thrown, almost the entire portion of this game, is down the field or the curl route type. They have not done anything to get receivers on the move.
Handoff on 2nd and 10 to Cooper, and not much there. 3rd down and long will be the order of the day for the Detroit Lions.
Maurice Carthon, the running backs coach, and anybody who is a Giants fan, that is one of the guys that was one of my favorite watching play the fullback position, and you know, he's got one of the best in the league, and Corey Schlesinger to work with.
Bill Parcells liked him as an assistant coach. Has that man been in the news lately? I don't know. Flags are down on the 3rd down and 10, and a false start call coming up against the Detroit Lions.
Prior to the snap, false start, 86, offense.
Hey, you're a
5-yard penalty.
former Cowboy.
Still
a lot of
3rd
interesting
down.
things going on in Dallas with the news yesterday of Bill Parcells and a meeting with Jerry Jones.
What news is that?
5-hour meeting.
5-hour meetings, private flights, Tuesday.
You've already
I tell you what, the can of worms opened after the San Francisco game, and there has been a lot of speculation about Dave Campo's position with the Dallas Cowboys, and that has just added fuel to the fire. I don't think anybody could expect Dallas to play very well last night with the rumors circulating.
So on 3rd down and long, the pass is incomplete and nearly intercepted. Kevin Mathis had the best chance for it. Bill Schrader was the intended receiver. You know, by now they'd only have 1 hour of their meeting over.
But again, what we're seeing on the field are these types of routes that Atlanta defends very well. It's a dash route, which you're taking advantage of Mike McMahon's athletic ability to get outside the pocket, but we're not seeing the wide receivers on the move, and that's what Tampa Bay and Seattle did over the last 2 weeks to really give problems to this defense.
Allen Rossum is back, and all 3 of John Jett's kicks so far today have landed inside the 20-yard line. Not likely this will. Fair catch by Rossum at the 26-yard line, and going to try to calm down some of the athletes as they start pushing and shoving. That was a 45-yard punt, however, for Jett. 3:09 remaining. Marty Morenweg, and of course he is the head coach named by Matt Millen, the CEO, and this is the first time I have worked a Detroit Lion game since my former partner decided to forego standing next to me for the lush job of running a football team.
Yeah, I don't know if that is as lush a job as a lot of people think. A lot of different things going on with that position, but Marty Morenweg and Matt Millen, they are also a group that is under some scrutiny right now, but hopefully the organization will realize that change that quickly is not good for the players. There are some other circumstances this year, and to allow them more time to make this a good football team.
Flag goes down as Michael Vick scampers and goes out of bounds short of the 30-yard line. He picked up 3 yards. And we'll have a holding call against the Falcons, and there is a Lion player on the field shaken up. And it's Chris Cash, the rookie corner from USC.
70, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Bob Whitfield holding on the play. He is the only player starting today who also started the Super Bowl 33 in Miami, and it's hard to believe only 6 players remain on the Falcons roster today who were the team just 4 years ago. Shows you what football is all about today with free agency and so forth.
Yeah, and that's why it is so difficult for teams to have an opportunity to build on what they're trying to start. And you know, one of the things we've talked about is how many teams are still in the playoff hunt, especially in the AFC. Well, one of the other things that goes along with the excitement at the end of the season is the uncertainty that exists as we come into a season. We really don't know who are going to be the teams at the end of the year fighting for those playoff spots. Atlanta is a great example. You talked about their struggles since going to the Super Bowl in 1998, the turnover in the roster, and I don't know if anybody expected them to be in the position that they're in right now. And again, a lot of that has to do with the emergence of Michael Vick. I don't think anybody expected him to have the type of year and the command and the presence in the pocket his first year as a full-time starter.
Yeah, he has certainly electrified this league, Darryl, no question about it. And you know, the whole thing, of course, with the Falcons is he's learning to beat people by throwing the ball and not running, and that's going to be the next step that Dan Reeves looks forward to. Todd Light replaces Chris Cash at cornerback for Detroit. And following the first penalty of the game against the Falcons, first down and 20. And Vick looking for a receiver, has Finneran underneath, and he is decked at the 21-yard line, picking up 6. And it's still a long way to go for a first down as the clock runs, 2.5 to play, and the Falcons have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, and the Lions have 2.
And you see Michael Vick standing in the pocket right there, delivering the ball with Robert Porcher bearing down on him. And he's the one guy in the Lions front that is going to have a little bit more freedom to pursue that quarterback in their pressure schemes.
Finneran with his first catch of the day, leading the team in that department. And let's see what Vick has in mind as he goes too deep for Trevor Gaylor. And it'll be 3rd down and long now as you look at Mike Vick's numbers in the passing department.
Yeah, more important than those numbers that are coming up right now is the fact that he is shaking that left thumb, and the pressure by Robert Porcher on the previous play, a very similar situation to how he banged that thumb last week. And after he delivers that ball, you see right there trying to shake it out. And you mentioned at the top, Dick, that thumb does still bother him. He is going to play through the pain. You can see the wrapping on it, and we got another one where he just hit it on the hand right there on Robert Porcher with his follow-through.
3rd down and 14. And the Lions look like they'll get another shot here, barring a first down. And here's Vick's pass, and it's nearly intercepted. And Andre Goodman was right there and nearly picked it off as he cut in front of the intended receiver, Brian Finneran. And with 1:57 on the clock, the 2-minute warning here at the Georgia Dome. We'll be right back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Saturn, makers of the View, redesigned L Series, and the all-new Ion.
Life is full of difficult choices, and some not so difficult. When you purchase an elegantly redesigned mid-size 2003 Saturn L Series, you can choose $2,500 toward your down payment. Or get 0% financing, 0 down payment, and 0 payments for 90 days. Unfortunately, this not-so-difficult choice ends January 2nd. Purchase a 2003 Saturn L Series and get $2,500 toward down payment, or 0% APR, 0 down payment, and 0 monthly payment for 90 days. See participating retailer for restrictions.
Get an amazing Gateway holiday deal for home or office. Buy one award-winning PC and get a second award-winning PC free. Purchase a Gateway 700XL PC or a Gateway 600XL notebook, and you'll get a Gateway 300S PC free. Get one and give one. Call 1-800-GATEWAY now for free shipping on all home PC purchases. The Gateway 600XL uses the mobile Intel Pentium 4 processor M.
I'm not exactly a small person. Never have been. There aren't many things made for someone like me. Not many things at all. The Black & Decker swivel drill is. It works in 5 different positions, so I don't have to. It's pretty cool for a little guy.
The swivel drill from Black & Decker.
The Citizen Echo Drive. It never needs a battery because light recharges it. So, what will you do with your battery now that your watch doesn't need one?
Welcome back to Atlanta. Ron Pitts here. Quick injury report on the Lions. Chris Cash, you saw him go out there a few minutes ago. Sprained left shoulder, return questionable. Back up to you, Dick.
Thank you very much, Ron. So one of the 2 rookie corners is shaken up. And it's 4th down and 14. And working on Barrett Green, who quickly gets up as soon as the cameras arrive. 4th down, and Chris Moore will punt from inside the 15. Eddie Drummond going to let it bounce. And finally, Drummond fields it and is down at the 39-yard line. So the Lions will have decent field position as they try to get back into this game. Well, next week it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, beginning with America's #1 pregame show. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will get you ready for kickoff. Then the Falcons play the Browns, a tough game up north, and the Packers and the Jets, and that could have playoff implications. The Jets breathing a little easier after Miami lost to Minnesota, and the Green Bay Packers still having hopes of home field somewhere along the playoffs. As Cash walks off, here is McMahon running upfield, and McMahon swivel hips, they'll call him, slides safely, I might add, at the 38-yard line of the Falcons for a 1st down. He got 22 there, and the hurry up is in progress.
I was hoping to see the one move that he has supposedly adopted as his signature move, but just some good athletic ability by Mike McMahon.
Here's a tip ball, and the Falcons will get it back on the interception by Ashley Ambrose. Ellis Johnson on the tip ball, and so the Lions starting to feel good about their prospects in the latter stages of this half. Turn it over to the Falcons.
Well, Ellis Johnson's right here, and when you're getting a push as a defensive tackle, there becomes a point where you know you're not going to get to the quarterback. He does a nice job of timing his jump, gets his hand up, bats the ball. Jermaine Crowell unable to come back and make a play on the ball, and Ashley Ambrose makes the interception.
3rd interception of the season for Ambrose, and so now the Falcons with 1:16 on the clock and 2 timeouts. We'll have a 1st down on the 37-yard line. Falcons leading 6-0, trying to end a 2-game losing streak and inch closer to an NFC playoff berth. They could conceivably clinch one today. 4 receivers out, and Mike Vick with his escapability looking for an open receiver, and it's incomplete and nearly picked off by Brian Walker, the former Dolphin. Trevor Gaylor was standing there waiting for the ball, and Walker jumped in front and nearly picked it.
And that's the key. Trevor Gaylor was standing there waiting for the ball. He's got to move back to the football. Michael Vick will attempt to make throws that most guys don't even think about. You look at this one, all the way across the football field. he has a tremendous amount of time, Brian Walker, to get in there and make that play. But look at Trevor Gaylord. He's standing and waiting, and Brian Walker is breaking on the football.
Got to come to the ball.
Oh, you got to work your way back, and you got to know that Mike Vick is going to try and make some throws that other people will consider not the smartest thing to do.
2nd down and 10 out of the shotgun in the empty backfield. Vick gets protection and completes to Warwick Dunn. And Dunn to the Lion 45-yard line. Barrett Green on the tackle. And the Falcons will call their 2nd timeout with 54 seconds remaining in the first half. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. So the Lions, who got the ball back after the Falcons had a very poor sequence, throwing the ball using precious little time, and now trying to fend off Atlanta.
Yeah, and they come out and have a good play by Mike McMahon on their initial play with a big scramble. But you know, the way things have gone all season for the Lions, they have a turnover now. Atlanta with an opportunity to really kind of put some doubt or some feelings in the heads of the Lions players that, well, here we go again, just like it's happened the first part of this football season. This is critical for them, not to get a field goal, not to get points, but to go down and get a touchdown. If they want to get into the playoffs, if they want to do the things that everybody thinks they're capable of doing, they need to be able to get in and get 7 points right now.
And if they don't, then the Lions now feel that they have a great shot of winning this game. They do anyway, even if Atlanta gets a touchdown. Here is Vick doing what Vick does best, and he runs out of bounds at the 40-yard line, and Brian Finneran, the wide receiver, with a big block. Vick getting 6.
And that's the great thing when you got a guy like Mike Vick who can move, and you have receivers willing to work their way back to get guys on the ground, and they're going to come in right from the corner of your screen right over here. We'll see if we can see it right there. Oh, he just takes him right off his feet. Wow, what a shot by Brian Finneran.
2nd down and 4. Falcons on the Lion 40-yard line with 47 seconds left and 1 timeout. And here is a pass thrown behind Gaylord, who could not hold on. And Vick getting a shot. Talking about shots.
He is, and it's Robert Porcher who has a little bit more freedom in the defensive front to get to Michael Vick. He is the guy that they will turn loose a little bit of the time. The other guys, they want him to maintain their gaps and control both gaps, actually, so Michael Vick doesn't have the running lanes to escape in when they open up. But Robert Porcher will be the guy that is able to do a little bit more, have a little bit more freedom to pursue the quarterback all the way to the pocket.
3rd down and 4 on the 40-yard line. And here is Vick doing exactly what the Lions were worried about, running up the middle and getting inside the 20-yard line for a 1st down. And that was a gain of 21 yards, and Detroit was very concerned with this play.
Well, you know what? It's just amazing. And the one thing that Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, said was, when he walks onto the football field, he is the best athlete on the field, regardless of who's out there, regardless of who they're playing. And you can see what he can do to a defense right here. I mean, the defensive front of the Detroit Lions do a nice job. They get pressure. Sean Rogers is up the field, disrupts everything. But look at this. This is what they leave open. And that is the one thing that you cannot do. Sean Rogers picked his shoulder, did not control both the gaps, allowed the offensive lineman to push him out of the way. If you do that, Michael Vick is going to be gone in a heartbeat.
Falcons, Mike Vick spiked the ball and stopped the clock. So Mike Vick, first 2 seasons, the leading quarterback rusher in NFL history. 2nd down and going to the end zone, and this pass is caught. Touchdown to Quentin McCord. Only 1 reception on the year coming into this game. Quentin McCord with a 20-yard grab and a touchdown, and the Falcons add to their lead.
Well, you talk about all you want about the ability of Mike Vick to make plays with his feet, but once he learns that this is the most important thing, being able to get teams nervous about his throwing ability. Let's see if his foot, there's 2 feet in, that's a touchdown. Jimmy Warwick was trying to convince everybody that he was out, but once he can do both of these things, the sky is the limit for this guy at the quarterback position.
Jay Feely will try to add the extra point with 17 seconds remaining. So this is a huge boost, and you just got through talking about what it would mean for the Falcons to get a touchdown after the Lions appeared to be moving the ball in Falcon territory and trying to open up a 13-point lead in the waning seconds. Feely's extra point is good, and it is 13-0 in favor of Atlanta. Remember, a Falcon win today and a loss by the Giants, who are leading the Colts right now 10-3, and the Falcons will clinch a playoff berth. If the Giants were to hold on and win and the Falcons win, we go to week number 17.
Well, you talk about a lot of guys who have track speed, and Michael Vick, everybody knows that he's been timed in the 40 in 4.2. But what he's able to do is transfer that track speed onto the football field and just get a look at how fast he can go. Here's a 40-yard dash. Start it right now. This is in full pads, not running a straight line, with people chasing you all over the field. That is a 5'1", 40-yard dash.
It's astounding.
It is unbelievable that he can transfer that speed onto the football field, and that is what everybody worries about. And he has the quickness in the confined space to make you miss and to extend the play on the outside. And then if you don't converge on him, he has the breakaway ability. He could be the fastest guy in the field each week he steps out there.
And how about the game Quentin McCord is having in his second year from Kentucky, already with 5 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown. This from a guy who had 1 catch for only 6 yards coming into the game. Feely with a grounder, and Corey Schlesinger indicates that the Drummond will pick it up, and he does, and is stuffed at the 23 with 13 ticks left.
And who's that? Number 88 walking out of the pile right there. Quentin McCord. He's having a huge day on the offensive side of the ball, but here he comes. He has a big touchdown catch. He's asked to go down and field kickoffs. Boy, you don't want to have a defensive tackle and a fullback coming at you, though. Antoine Lake and Corey Schlesinger coming after Quentin McCord. That's tough duty.
And, of course, that touchdown catch is first of his career, his brief career. So the Lions trailing 13-0. 13 seconds left on the 23-yard line. They're going to give it to Stewart, and Stewart will drive out to the 29, and the Lions will not stop the clock. So a couple of field goals by Feely and a couple of good defensive stops by the Detroit Lions kept them in the game, and then they were foiled with the interception by Ambrose, and the Falcons came right back, and Mike Vick with the touchdown pass, giving Atlanta a little breathing room.
And it took him to the final seconds of the first half to get on track, similar to what happened last week when it was the final minutes of the football game against Seattle. Mike Vick needs to come out and build off of how he finished that half, get off to a quick start, put this game away.
The Atlanta Falcons looking for their 9th win of the year and trying to get into the playoffs. And no one thought that they would be in that situation when the season started. That is the end of the first half here at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, with the score: the Falcons 13 and the Lions nothing. And a lot of people scoreboard watching today, and the New Orleans Saints leading in their game over the Cincinnati Bengals, and the New York Giants in front 10-3 at halftime. You're going to get all of the highlights coming up and the scoring details. If the Giants win, the Falcons cannot clinch a playoff berth today. And we'll be back to the Georgia Dome in just a moment. And the Visa halftime report comes your way after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
This ordinary Joe just inherited a fortune. These are the 20 women who are vying for his heart.
He's a hottie.
And this is the secret you'll know from the very beginning. Joe's $50 million inheritance isn't real. But they won't find out until the bitter end. Joe Millionaire. Can true love survive a little $50 million lie? A new reality series, Monday, January 6th on Fox.
She was looking for laughs. He wanted to be taken seriously. How they found love on the set of Just Married.
We love each other. That is all that matters.
Michelle DeSelms gets straight talk from Brittany Murphy and Ashton Kutcher. Why wait an extra hour for your late news? Watch Fox 17 News at 10 tonight. Participate in Holiday Roundup at Fazoli's and help families in need put food on the table. Get a free drink coupon for your 50-cent donation. Holiday Roundup, a Fox 17 Care Force fundraiser.
That thing got a Hemi?
Yeah.
Sweet.
The all-new Dodge Ram Heavy Duty.
Did you mean the Charger? Because you know that's got a Hemi too.
Now with a 345 horsepower, 5.7-liter Hemi Magnum. Grab Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty plus $1,000 cash allowance. Ford, Chevy, and Toyota don't match it.
Getting caught drinking and driving this holiday season is going to cost you more than just a night in the drunk tank. A lot more. This holiday season, law enforcement agencies all across Michigan are teaming up to do just one thing: arrest you if you drink and drive. You drink and drive, you lose.
1.9% APR?
Yep.
Gosh. Well, that means that after 36 months, you'll save a lot. Yeah. Whoa.
The Civic from Honda. It figures. Get special APR financing as low as 1.9% for up to 36 months on 2003 Civics.
You're watching the NFL on Fox 17. I could play this game.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
And welcome to those of you watching Detroit and Atlanta, New Orleans and Cincinnati. Atlanta and New Orleans helping themselves in the playoff hunt.
Michael Vick, 175 yards passing in the first half, putting on quite a display. Back, watch this, steps up, zone passing. Hard for a young quarterback to have success against zones. They have to read it, they have to react. Excellent job. Hits Quentin McCord, 41 yards. Yarder. Then after a 20-yard Michael Vick scramble, he then nails his 20-yard touchdown pass to Quentin McCord, second-year player. His first touchdown in his young career. 13-0. Falcons playoff hopes still going. 13-0 over the Lions. New Orleans, Cincinnati. All right, Saints hoping to get into the playoffs. Got to keep winning. John Kitna, Chris Collinsworth said, don't bring in Carson Palmer. Kitna can get it done. He fires to former #1 draft choice Peter Warrick out of Florida State. He takes it 30 yards touchdown. 7-3 Bengals. Back comes Aaron Brooks. Deep in route. Finds the rookie Dante Stallworth out of Tennessee. First half, Aaron Brooks trouble hanging on to the football, but the Saints have a 13-7 lead over the Bengals. Giants, Indianapolis. Kerry Collins sets up, fakes right, turns around, throwback screen to the tight end, rookie Jeremy Shockey out of Miami. Oh, my goodness gracious alive. David Gibson, the strong safety, ball over, 24-yard gain for Shockey. 3 plays later, there he is, out of the eye. Tiki Barber, 4-yard touchdown, and it's 10-0 Giants. And then Collins hits his tight end on the zone adjustment route. That's Jeremy Shockey hit from behind. He fumbles the football. Hang on, here we go. Walt Harris. And Maurice's zone, and it looks like Harris for a 24-yard. I just like that. I don't know why I did it. Who sings that? George Jones sings it. And then after a Colt fumble, right, I'm sorry, after the Giants fumble, the Colts recover, couldn't cash in, and then, of course, Vanderjagt nails a 20-yard field goal, 10-3, Giants over the Colts. Chicago Bears, Carolina, Chandler in, play action, bombs away, deep post, there's your guy, Des White, 76-yard touchdown, Bears 7-0 over Carolina. Back comes 36-year-old Rodney Peete, looking awfully good. The slant, breaks passes, that's tackles at Steve Smith, 69 yards later, down to the 2-yard line, led to a D. Brown 2-yard touchdown, and it's 21-7, Panthers over the Bears.
Buffalo still breathing playoff breath, but they need a victory in order to stay in the hunt right now, trailing by 3. Kansas City clinging to playoff hopes, and right now up by 8 over the Chargers. Tennessee, as Jimmy Johnson said, hot team indeed, can clinch a playoff spot with the victory. They are up by 11 over the Jaguars. That in the third period of play. And Washington looking to snap a 3-game losing streak on top of the Texans right now at the half. Jimmy, the Saints are in the playoffs with the victory and losses by either the Giants or the Falcons.
Well, New Orleans is scoring points, but as Mr. Bradshaw said in the pregame show, they've given up at least 20 points in every single game, and they're on their way again. Corey Dillon rushing for a 7-yard average. They've given up over 150 yards. A lot of turnovers turnovers on both sides. New Orleans has got to get better on defense if they're going to have any success in the playoffs.
After looking sloppy the last couple of weeks, Michael Vick picking it up, although he's completed under 50% of his passes. He's making key passes at the key times, and he's making key runs. Defensively, they're playing better, and they're getting the kind of production out of work done they thought they were going to get, almost controlling the clock for 18 minutes in the first half.
I'll tell you what, Michael Vick, hardest thing for a young quarterback to do is to read all those zone coverages. And today, you're seeing the Lions throw a lot of zones at him. He's hanging in there. That's why his percentage is down. It's hard to adjust to that, but you get big plays, and he's done that in the first half.
His decision-making has been pretty doggone good this year. I'm impressed also that Jimmy Johnson gave you a little love on a reference there.
I did refer to Mr. Bradshaw.
Absolutely. Maybe the halftime continues.
Thank you.
Right after this.
Visa is proud to celebrate the fans this season. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
America's #1 pregame show is ready to hit prime time. It's Fox NFL Saturday Night.
Saturday night? I do my best work on Saturday night.
It's a television event that can only happen in prime time. Prime time, baby. I'm ready. Fox NFL Saturday Night, coming January 18th.
Winston Cup champion Tony Stewart tries to conquer NASCAR's most legendary track, the Daytona 500, this February, only on Fox.
'Twas the Sunday before Christmas. No need to feel blue, because a night of Fox comedies will make you shout, "Woohoo!" Homer and Hank will light up your evening.
This is the worst thing you've ever done.
You say that so much it's lost all meaning.
Then Malcolm and Andy create such a clutter.
I don't understand it. An entire stick of butter?
So gather the family for holiday cheer. Who needs the drama? We got
Richard Gere.
It all starts tonight with the new Futurama and King of the Hill here on Fox.
There's an easier way to get the gear the pros wear. Call 877-NFL-SHOP for the biggest selection of authentic NFL gear. For your free team catalog, call 877-NFL-SHOP or go to NFL Shop on NFL.com.
Halftime ceremonies at the Georgia Dome honoring Jesse Tuggle, the outstanding linebacker, 14-year veteran with the Falcons and their all-time leading tackler. And the Falcons led a 13-0 lead. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue in the house. And third quarter coming up in just a moment.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Chrysler invites you to preview our holiday collection, featuring the head-turning PT Cruiser, now with a special holiday bonus. Now choose one of 3 Sony personal entertainment packages when you buy any new PT Cruiser. Plus, get 0% financing for 36 months. Or choose a generous $1,500 cash allowance on select models. But hurry, this invitation ends January 2nd. So see your Chrysler dealer today.
Menards has thousands of great holiday gift ideas at super low prices. A 10-cup programmable coffee maker is just $24.72. A 7-quart slow cooker is $24.99. A Health Smart Grill is only $36.99. Or how about this microwave oven for only $32.99? A 1.1 cubic foot microwave is $64.99. And this 7 cubic foot chest freezer is just $169. Plus, a Menard gift card always makes a great gift.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
It was about a year and a half ago. My parents passed away, and my wife and I, we just decided to bring my brothers and sisters to come live with us.
There are 10 of us in the house right now. It's a fun place, especially around Christmas time. The lights, the wrapping paper, all the presents.
Walmart absolutely has the best prices for us. We have to be very budget conscious because we have a large family now.
Each person draws a name.
We try to keep it really quiet.
I cannot keep a secret. The shopping experience, it's fun. Walmart's great at helping us stretch every single dollar that we bring in.
You can get the perfect present for the perfect person. I love Christmas.
Everybody's got a little Jeep adventure in them. So you'd better hurry to your Jeep dealer because they want to make this a record-breaking month.
Now's a great time to get a Jeep Grand Cherokee with all these great offers. 0% APR financing for 60 months. No monthly payments for 90 days. Plus the protection of a 770 powertrain limited warranty. So get to your Jeep dealer for this factory authorized opportunity before January 2nd and find the Jeep adventure in you. Check one out today.
It's a Festivus miracle.
Happy Festivus.
Teams back on the field getting ready for the second half. The Atlanta Falcons leading the Detroit Lions 13-0 here at the Georgia Dome. And a few minutes ago, Ron Pitts caught up with the Falcons head coach Dan Reeves.
Coach, it looked like things started out a little bit rough in the first quarter there, but you got them rolling now.
Well, you know, we just got a 13-point lead. We had a 10-point lead last week. You know, it's how we finish. I mean, it's the way our season has been. It's all in front of us, Ron. We got to do it the second half. Defense doing a great job. You know, got us some turnovers, and we just got to do a good job offensively. Get the ball first here, and hopefully we can put it in the end zone.
Are they doing anything different to Michael that you haven't seen?
No. You know, they're a very disciplined defensive team. They're very well coached. You know, and they're doing a good job, putting a lot of pressure on us, and we've got to handle that this half.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Dick, back up to you.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. And I think that the point you made with the Falcons scoring late, big plus for them. But it all can dissolve if they let the Lions back in the game early, and we know that the Atlanta will get the ball first.
Yeah, let's build on that momentum that we established at the end of the first half. You're getting the ball to open the second half, and again, it's so important to put a team away that's struggling, having a tough year, and is really questioning what their future is going to be. Get on top of them as fast as you can, and they'll start to doubt themselves.
I will say this, Marty Morenweg is right about the fact that this team really comes at you. Their defense has played very aggressively, and they're just not there, I think, talent-wise, and you know, in a lot of areas as the second half gets underway. Allen Rossum returning the kickoff, and how great has he been there? Not so much on that play as he slips shy of the 20. Rossum with a 91-yard kickoff return last week against the Seahawks has done that for 3 teams he's been with: the Eagles, the Packers, and now the Falcons. Check the numbers at the half.
Well, you can see right there the big difference to passing yards. A lot of those coming late in the first half. Time of possession, one of the things that Detroit has struggled with all year, but just not a lot of points right now. That is the big problem. The Atlanta Falcons controlled the clock. They moved the football, but they were kicking field goals until that last drive.
And Todd Light is at cornerback. The rookie Chris Cash out with an injury, and an early flag and a false start call coming up by Walt Coleman against the Falcons.
Prior to the snap, false start, 74, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Not the way you want to start off the second half. Todd Weiner moving before the snap, and so first down and 15 coming up for the Falcons inside their 15-yard line.
Close right. Run through.
Detroit Lions trying to turn things around on the road. They have not won a road game since Marty Morenweg became the head coach. 0-15. Here is Warwick Dunn, and Dunn up the middle, close to the original line of scrimmage.
Everybody thinks of Mike Vick as a guy who's scrambling and putting pressure on the outside, but you see there in the first half he was much more effective staying in the pocket, and that is the area that head coach Dan Reeves wants to see him improve. And actually talking with Kurt Schottenheimer, the defensive coordinator of the Lions, he really senses that is what he wants to become. He's doing a good job of that in the previous games, continues it again this afternoon in the first half.
2nd and 10. Vick with the short drop, and the pass to his favorite man, Quentin McCord. First down for the Falcons right at the 30-yard line. McCord already has over 100-yard receiving, including a 20-yard touchdown catch. And the Falcons keep it moving.
Just a simple pitch and catch. Quentin McCord goes down the field, turns around. The ball is delivered right on time by Mike Vick. And then he gets the presence to get up the field immediately to split the defenders with enough yards for the first down. You get the guy's hands down at the line of scrimmage when you have plays that come out that quickly. Todd Weiner does a nice job of getting Robert Porche's hands down.
First down up to 30. And here's Warwick Dunn for about 3 yards. Dunn now has just about 100 yards in total offense for the Falcons this afternoon. He has gained 64 on the ground. former Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in the same division as the Bucs, who right now are the 2nd seed. They trail the Philadelphia Eagles in the battle for the 6th playoff berth. 2nd down and 7 with 2 minutes going by here in the 3rd quarter, and Mike Vick trying to get away from some defenders, and he can do it, and he flicks it downfield wide open, and he's got it again. Quentin McCord, and McCord dragged out of bounds inside the 10, and a flag goes down. Where has this man been? Quentin McCord, and that would be a 60-yard play to this wide receiver, with Brian Walker finally preventing the touchdown.
The escapability of a quarterback extends the play, and you have to be disciplined in your coverage. With Mike Vick moving around as a defensive back, it is not your responsibility to come up and make the tackle. It is your responsibility to stay with the offensive wide receiver and not allow plays over the top.
First down.
Half the distance on the face mask right here.
What a huge day for Quentin McCord.
7 catches, 182 yards. And with Sean Jefferson out with a hamstring, Trevor Gaylor moved into the starting role, allowing Quentin McCord to have his chance as the 3rd wide receiver. The Giants, meanwhile, add to their lead over the Colts. They're in front 17-3. Scoreboard watching on week 16. It'll be 1st and goal at the 3. Here is Dunn, and Dunn won't get it done. He'll be knocked back at the 4 by Barrett Green. No gain on the play. So he gets back to the line of scrimmage with 2nd and goal.
Well, this is an area, the first 2 drives that the Falcons have, moving down the field, both of them 80-plus yard drives that they kicked their field goals on. This is where they stalled, and it's very surprising when you have a quarterback with the athletic ability of Mike Vick that you don't use that in the red zone, where he becomes the one weapon on the offensive side of the ball that's almost impossible to take account for as a defender.
2nd and goal, and here is Dunn, and Dunn scrapping his way. And the crowd seeing Dan Reeves call 2 Warwick Dunn runs up the middle on 1st and goal. That was Kalimba Edwards who grabbed a hold, so it's 3rd down and goal. 60-yard play, and then the face mask penalty tacked on, as once again Mike Vick going to Quentin McCord. That combination has been sensational today. 3rd and goal on the 3. And Vick's pass tipped incomplete, and that was a tough play right in traffic, and it was Algie Crumpler who was upset as a penalty marker goes down. Crumpler was sandwiched by 2 defenders, including Eric Davis. The pass was incomplete, and then 2 flags come down after the play, and this will go against Atlanta. So Crumpler got frustrated, apparently, Moose.
Yeah, and I like what the officials have decided to do this year in this situation. They pick the person who initiates the contact.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 83, offense, 15-yard penalty after the play is over, 4th down.
It'll be 4th down.
It's a situation where you're not going to have offsetting penalties, and right there Eric Davis slams Algie Crumpler to the ground. He gets up and reacts. That is a guy they're going to catch. They always catch the retaliator, but what they do is they come in and they make one side or the other pay the price. They don't do offsetting penalties and leave the ball where it was. A chip shot field goal now becomes a little bit of a test here for Jay Feely.
Yeah, especially when the numbers are 36. That's what he missed last week in overtime. That would have given the Falcons a win. So here he is again, and the penalty occurring after the play was over. 36-yard attempt for Feely. And the holder is the punter, Jay Moore, and this kick is perfect. Falcons lead at 16-0, but they had 1st and goal at the 3, and that is settled for 3.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac. Bold vehicles defying convention.
Muncie Santa, I want to win here today, and I want a Giant loss against the Colts and a Saint loss against the... There's the scoring drive, and McCord, who has gained 182 yards through the air, and that is the biggest game of the year by any Falcon receiver, as Eddie Drummond on the return runs into his own man and then is stopped right about the 26-yard line. So we're early in the third. Atlanta starting to get the game away from the Lions. Must respond if they want to hang in.
So it begins. Time.
Welcome back to Atlanta. Ron Pitts here. The Falcons talked about two things there at halftime. Number one, close the deal. They haven't been able to do that very well the last couple of weeks. And number two, the only guy that can hurt them, they feel, is Mike McMahon running around. They want to stop him from running around at all costs. Dick?
All right, Ron, and they've done that so far as James Stewart goes off right tackle. And for a game break, let's check in again with James Brown.
Dick, Darrell, and Ron, take a look at the opening play of the third quarter for the New York Giants. Kerry Collins tosses to Tiki Barber. Back to Kerry Collins. I know, flea flicker up top, hooking up with Amani Toomer. 82 yards for the score. And then they come right back to add another touchdown. Kerry Collins hooks up with Charles Stackhouse. It's now 23-3. Giants back to Dick Stockton.
All right, a big road lead by the Giants, who are trying to stay alive, and McMahon's pass knocked down. Michael Ricks defended by John Dale Carty. So the New York Giants, who had lost two horrendous games, one in Houston, but the loss to Tennessee at home in overtime, have come back beating Washington, Dallas by a huge margin, and up on the road at Indianapolis, and the Colts need that game in their own race.
Well, they have been an up-and-down team too. Last week spotted Cleveland 16 points, had to fight back to win that football game on the last play of the game.
Third down and 9, and the Lions trying to muster some offense, and this pass is picked off by Jerron Bolden. Jerron Bolden trying to make it down the sideline, tiptoes his way, and will go out of bounds. So Bolden is starting in place of Ray Buchanan with the interception and the return of 23 yards.
Isn't it funny how sometimes you feel there's a guy that you want to pick on and you continue to throw at him and he steps up and makes a big play, and right there he beats Jermaine Crowell to the ball and comes all the way across the field, does a great job once he gets to the sideline of extending the play. But Jerron Bolden, a guy that the Lions felt that they could take advantage of in coverage, and he has done a nice job this afternoon. They have not got much on number 21.
So Jerron Bolden with an interception here. Ashley Ambrose had one earlier, and the Falcons sitting in good shape now on the Lion 22, first down, trying to add to a 16-0 lead. And here is Vick, and open is Christian, the fullback. Bob Christian inside the 10 for a Falcon first down.
We talk a lot about Corey Schlesinger for the Detroit Lions. Bob Christian is their version with the Atlanta Falcons. And watch the hustle by Reggie Kelly at the end of the play as he goes across the field. The two refs are in conjunction. Reggie Kelly's right here. He's going to get down and get to the flat area and throw a block for Bob Christian downfield to try and give him a chance to get into the end zone.
And Ron Pitts just got through talking with Dan Reeves about finishing a game, and it looks like the Falcons are intent on trying to finish it before we even get halfway through this third quarter. First and goal, and Warwick Dunn fighting his way inside the 5-yard line. Dunn getting 5 yards, and Brian Walker on the tackle.
You take a look at Warwick Dunn's feet, and this is the ability that he has, the shiftiness. The guy who was always the greatest at it is Barry Sanders. Warwick Dunn also has those nimble feet, able to hop over the bodies that are on the ground, and that's the thing you have to do. You hear a lot of coaches talk about the high knees as you go through the line of scrimmage to prevent yourself from stumbling over somebody that's on the ground.
Dunn going in motion. He has 70 yards rushing on the play. Here is Vick. He's got Christian blocking, and Vick gets knocked hard out of bounds at about the 2 by Barrett Green. And Vick not pleased at all with that hit. Has a few choice words.
Well, Barrett Green has played a nice football game this afternoon and delivered a couple of really big hits. And this one is a race to the corner. He's all the way over here on your side, and he's just going to continue to flow across. He lets the receiver go. You see right there, Warwick Dunn in the back of the end zone, but he comes up with enough time to put a big hit on Mike Vick as he goes out of bounds.
3rd down and goal. And the Falcons, who have been stopped so many times inside the 5-yard line, having to settle twice for field goals, and will call a timeout. 8:05 remaining in the 3rd. Back here at the Georgia Dome. Happy holidays to all of our viewers. Big holiday week coming up. The Falcons today have 3 field goals and 3 possessions in the red zone, and they face 3rd down and goal on the 1-yard line, leading 16-0. Right now they are in the 6th and final spot in the NFC wild card race. Play action. Vick dancing around, and Vick will go down at the 2, will lose a yard. And once again, Barrett Green, who has had a terrific game for the Lions, and Robert Porcher, loss of 1, and that'll be a sack on Vick.
Yeah, it all started with Warwick Dunn going up against Robert Porcher right there. He does a nice job of playing him off. Warwick Dunn has got to get up near his pad level on his thigh. He can't go down that low. The athletes that play the defensive line today, if you go down that low to cut them, they're going to play off you and be able to make a play.
Jay Feely, who is perfect today, 3 chances. This will be a 20-yard field goal attempt. Shortest one he's had to face, and he has number 4 in the bag. 19-0 in favor of the Falcons, and the Falcons capitalize on another turnover to get those points.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37. By Compact Presario from HP. By Energizer. Do you have the bunny inside? And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better, Dr. Pepper.
And wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and a Happy Holiday. 7:20 to go. And looks like it's going to be a happy holiday for the Atlanta Falcons, although with the Giants winning, that race won't be decided if it stays this way in both venues until next week, as Jay Feely, who has equaled a career high with 4 field goals, knocks this one into the end zone, and the Lions will start out on the 20-yard line. Mike McMahon is starting at quarterback today, and there you see the Atlanta Falcons scoring drive, and McMahon making the start because Joey Harrington, the outstanding rookie, out for the year. He underwent a procedure to fix an abdominal or abnormal heartbeat. Said he was bored sitting out the final 2 games. He was taken to the hospital with a rapid heartbeat and had a catheter ablation. James Stewart unable to hold on to that one.
Well, you hear the old saying, the ball just doesn't bounce your way sometimes, and right there, a tip ball by Ellis Johnson, and James Stewart's got an opportunity on the sideline to make a catch and make a play, and it's so frustrating. I was involved with a season with the Dallas Cowboys when we only won 1 football game, and it's just so hard. You get into that feeling that nothing is going to go your way, and you know, the course of the afternoon today, that has been the case for the Lions. Every bounce has gone Atlanta's way and against the Detroit Lions.
Stewart going in motion out to the left. And on 2nd down, and Schrader with a 1st down catch at the 33-yard line. The news was good for Joey Harrington, Moose, that he did not have to undergo any surgery, and he is going to be all right, and they say he will not have a recurrence of that problem.
It's absolutely amazing what they're able to do in the medical field nowadays, and actually Joey Harrington will be able to resume his off-season activities in less than 6 weeks from now, and so he will be ready to be involved in the Detroit Lions off-season program without missing a day.
1st down at the 34. They fake the end around, give to James Stewart, and very little there. 6.5 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. Dick Stockton along with Darrell Johnston and Ron Pitts here at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. They have sold out this stadium all year, and tickets are going fast, we understand, for next year. When you have a guy wearing number 7, you understand why. Mike McMahon's rating, you don't want to show this to too many people. 15.2. Fake end around. Just takes one, though, to really get it up there. And this pass, and it's Corey Schlesinger, the fullback, who had a shot at making that play. And he had Keith Brooking downfield on the coverage.
It just surprises me, continues to surprise me, that Marty Mornhinweg will not go with some of the crossing routes and the underneath stuff that he saw on film that gave this defense so much trouble against the Buccaneers and against the Seahawks. And it continues to be more of a vertical game with some deep in routes, but they really struggled with their man-to-man routes underneath. They've continued to see man coverage this afternoon, yet we haven't seen those routes that were so successful over the last 2 weeks.
No, we have not, and you're puzzled by this. Here is McMahon in the pocket, and he has Schlesinger trying to get the first down yardage. Does, and he dives into Falcon territory, and the Lions have a first down on the Falcon 47 and an 18-yard pickup.
Here's one of the things that you like to see a young quarterback do. There's nothing open down the field. It's a third down situation. He drops the ball off to one of his checkdowns and allows Corey Schlesinger to make the play down the field. And that's all you can ask. And you saw some throws earlier in the game today that Mike McMahon was trying to force in there. He's learned his lesson. He drops that one down. Hey, I'm going to give my guy a chance to make a play and get the first down.
Schlesinger put a good fake on Kevin Mathis. And the whistle, normally indicating a false start. So you want to see the mark of a team that is struggling. This penalty is an example.
Snap, false start, 83, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
John Owens, a rookie tight end from Notre Dame. So just when you see possibly some progress being made, you make a big play, all of a sudden, thump. A 5-yard penalty for a false start sends you back in your own territory.
When you're in that position, there is so little margin for error that the smallest penalty, obviously turnovers, you've got no chance. But even a 5-yard false start that puts you in 1st and 15 becomes a huge thing.
That's what losing teams do. Here is McMahon on the run, throwing, tough play, and Stewart downfield and near the sideline was defended by Kevin McAdam and Keon Carpenter. Speaking about penalties, the Lions have been hit for 8 penalties to only 3 for the Falcons. You know, this crowd, either they know that the Giants are leading 23-3 over the Colts, but they do not have the aura here of a team that is on the brink of wrapping up a playoff berth. And of course, if the Giants win, they can't.
No, the loudest they have been all afternoon was at halftime when they did the ceremony with Jesse Tuggle.
2nd down and 15 for the Lions, and give to James Stewart, and nothing doing. And it was Brady Smith. No gain on the play. You know, the Falcons defeated the Giants in their one meeting, and you talk about tiebreakers when you come down to the final weeks. But because the Falcons played a tie game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, there is no tiebreaker here. They either win by half a game or lose by half a game against the Giants, a team they beat.
And they're very fortunate to have that tie on Atlanta's record, because they knew they let an opportunity get away, because it was Doug Johnson, not Michael Vick, that beat the New York Giants.
3rd down and 15. And McMahon flushed out of the pocket. And McMahon will throw, and an awkward pass situation. Larry Foster was the intended receiver, and a Falcon is injured, and it's lineman Sam Rogers who was chasing Mike McMahon to no avail on that last play. By the way, Jerron Bolden has suffered a strained left calf, and Bolden, who had an interception on the sidelines. 4th down, and John Jett in to kick it away. Allen Rossum back deep for Atlanta. And walking off on his own power is Rogers. Don Jets kick with 4th down. Rossum looking to return. Many happy returns back to the 11-yard line. Eddie Drummond, very good looking and fast rookie for the Lions.
For over 8 years, DirecTV has brought America the best in television entertainment, and our customers have shown their appreciation in many unique ways. We simply figured it was an emotion they couldn't put into words. Until now. DirecTV, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction among satellite and cable subscribers by J.D. Power and Associates. Get a 2-room DirecTV system with installation for under $50.
Buddy Holly sang to Peggy Sue and his legend grew just like Dr. Pepper. Let's raise a Dr. Pepper, salutes individuality and gives life a personality. Nothing's better, Dr. Pepper.
Hey, Spider-Man fans, you could win a Sony home theater, Spider-Man DVD, or thousands of other prizes, only on specially marked packages of Dr. Pepper.
Kevin Dyson reaches to the goal line. No!
You know, Darryl, this race could get down to the last week, and a tough game with the Falcons playing in Cleveland, whether the Browns are still in it or not.
Well, that's the big problem right here. They have to take care of business today because Cleveland could have just as much as Atlanta to play for next week. You don't want this opportunity to slip through your fingers.
And you also don't want to go up to the cold of Cleveland to have to deal, excuse me, I'm still here, to deal with the Browns, who would want to finish on a high note. But the Giants are spoiling this party as the slant to Trevor Gaylor with 1st down at the 26 as we send it down to Ron Pitts.
Well, Dick, you remember earlier we talked about Michael Vick's jersey being the best-selling NFL jersey. Well, we decided to see if we could give this thing away to a girl or boy who's been very good this year. And my buddy Braxton here, he's 8 years old. And Braxton, have you been good for Christmas?
Yes.
What have you done really good this year?
I've been good at school.
What if I gave you a Michael Vick jersey? Would you like that? Yeah? Sure? All right, here you go, Carson. That's you. And there's Santa Claus. He was just over here somewhere. We'll tell him you've been really good.
Warwick Dunn's been real good, and there you are, Ron. And is he a secret Titan fan, by the way?
You know what? My buddy up here, Dick Stockton and Moose Johnson, they're doing the game. They want to know, since you got a Titans shirt on, you might be a Titans fan in disguise and not a Falcons fan.
No.
You're a Falcons fan all the way, right?
I just got it because my brother has.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll let you get up back to your dad.
All right.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Santa. Mike Vick, by the way, has thrown for 270 yards, 24 away from his career high that he established against the Steelers this year. Inside handoff to Christian, and the fullback breaking a couple of tackles, and that is what a fullback is all about. He can block, he's the up back, and he can knock people down when he runs. And I know you feel this way.
Well, we've got a couple of them in this football game today, and I think that they are overlooked in the NFC. And you look at Fred Beasley from the Niners, Corey Schlesinger, and Bob Christian today, and William Henderson with the Green Bay Packers. Over the last few years, Mike Alstott has dominated the Pro Bowl position at the fullback spot. And Mike Alstott is more of a 5/8 back. He's not really a fullback. He's not really a halfback. He's kind of in the middle there. These 4 guys continue not to get the opportunity to go over to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl, when to me, they are the 4 best guys playing that position.
Warwick Dunn bouncing outside and getting inside Lion territory, getting 5 yards on the play. And you make a good point. As well as Mike Alstott has played, you see him as a tailback when he lines up in the Tampa Bay.
Absolutely. I think the easiest thing to do, they say, well, how do you measure whether you're a fullback or not? Well, if half the plays you line up, you've got another running back in front of you, between the line of scrimmage, then you are no longer a fullback. And Mike Alstott, he has such great athletic ability that he becomes their featured runner at times. These guys are the guys who are blocking, catching some passes, doing their special team stuff. That is what the role of the fullback is. And it should be time for people to start recognizing what a Fred Beasley, what a William Henderson, and a Corey Schlesinger mean to their football team with the reward of going over and playing in Hawaii.
Good point. And Trevor Gaylor may have enough for the first down. In fact, in talking with Matt Millen of the Lions last night, and their man Corey Schlesinger, who you see right there, he says, when I got here, I told Corey Schlesinger to watch a tape of you. He said you were the smartest fullback he ever played against, which is a high compliment and something that, of course, most people realize.
Well, what happens is during the course of the game, things just happen, and you can't go in with one certain technique or one style. But more than that, what Corey Schlesinger has done has been a guy who really inspires his teammates. He is so banged up this year and continues to show up week after week, day after game after game, to be a positive influence on that football team.
Gaylor, and that time Mike Vick going for the downs, and Todd Light defending. Incomplete pass, and it brings up 2nd down and 10. But you're right, the fullback position has been a lost position in the National Football League in many respects. Many years ago, of course, Jim Taylor with the Green Bay Packers when he teamed with Paul Hornung. Alan Amici of the Colts, we're talking about a long time ago, who scored the overtime touchdown against the Giants. Marion Motley of the Browns, and even in more recent years, but it's a lost spot. That time a good catch by Brian Finneran, and a first down inside the 30-yard line. And the Falcons really have good rhythm with their offense right now, Moose.
They really do. This is the best that Michael Vick has played all afternoon. He has really capitalized on what he did at the end of that first half. Came out and continued that in this third quarter. Missed a chance to put this game away, but he is playing as well as he has all afternoon.
And that is the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Falcons 19, the Lions nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station.
These great offers: 0% APR financing or $1,000 cash allowance. No monthly payments for 90 days. Plus the protection of a 770 powertrain limited warranty. So get to your Jeep dealer for this factory authorized opportunity before January 2nd and find the Jeep adventure in you. Check one out today.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan would like to salute the men and women who are working hard during this holiday season to make the miracles happen.
The first light, the first touch, the first smile.
They turn despair into hope.
Suffering into celebration.
And while nothing they do surprises us,
everything they do amazes us.
We're listening to you and the power of blue.
Chrysler invites you to preview our holiday collection, featuring the head-turning PT Cruiser, now with a special holiday bonus. Now choose one of 3 Sony personal entertainment packages when you buy any new PT Cruiser. Plus, get 0% financing for 36 months. Or choose a generous $1,500 cash allowance on select models. But hurry, this invitation ends January 2nd, so see your Chrysler dealer today.
Happy Festivus, Georgie.
From everyone at Fox 17.
And Christmas greetings from Santa as you look at the 2 quarterbacks. Mike Vick having a banner day, and Mike McMahon struggling as the Lions unable to put any points on the board. And the Falcons threatening for more as we start the 4th quarter. It'll be 1st down and 10 on the 28 of the Lions. Vick peering over the defensive line and handing off to Dunn. And Dunn will lose a few thanks to Jimmy Wyrick.
We've talked so much this afternoon about Mike Vick's athletic ability, but one of the things that Dan Reeves talked about that he worked on in the offseason that's paid huge dividends is his work in the huddle. He was not very good at enunciating the plays and getting the team to the line of scrimmage on time. He actually walked up during a practice with a tape recorder, and Mike Vick did not know about it, taped him calling the play in the huddle. When he called him back and played the tape, Mike Vick could not believe that's what he sounded like in the huddle. So that's another area he's always looking for something to improve his football game.
Work in progress for Mike Vick, and they're doing a good job with it as this one sails over Gaylor's head. Third down coming up early here in the fourth quarter. The Atlanta Falcons, who have stumbled in the last 2 games, trying to get back on track. Giants are not cooperating in Indy. They're winning that game over the Colts. So if the Falcons go on and win, and the Giants do win, we go to week 17 for Atlanta's fortunes to be declared. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bengals are giving the New Orleans Saints a good battle. That's a game 13-7 in favor of New Orleans right now. So here is Vick on the delayed quarterback draw, if that's what it was, and he is stopped short of the first down at the 21 by Lamar Campbell, and it looked like a design play there.
Oh, absolutely right. And what you're doing, you're taking advantage of both your running backs. Watch Bob Christian and Warrick Dunn. There's your first block by Bob Christian. Here comes Warrick Dunn. What that does is when defenses bring down that extra defender into the box to try and create an advantage with the extra person that you can't block, you put both your backs forward, you drop your quarterback in behind. Now you can take care of everybody.
Well, Jay Feely has never kicked 5 field goals in a game, and he can do it here. A 39-yarder for Feely, and his kick is up, and it is good. Jay Feely now with 5 field goals, a career game for him, and Atlanta now leads 22-0.
Ever notice how many Ford trucks you see out there? Is it because they're so tough? Is it payload, horsepower, towing, their off-road capabilities, the Triton engines, lasting durability? Or is it all those things that have made Ford F-Series the best-selling truck for 25 straight years? Leadership has no boundaries when you're built Ford tough.
With Microsoft Server software, you can quickly connect with partners. That's software for the agile business from Microsoft.
So 20 seconds left. Garcia looks left.
He's got this weak side blitz coming, right? Takes a snap. Takes a 3-step drop.
Bunch of big guys trying to kill him.
Dodges this one safety. Ducks under this tackle.
Launches this awkward, just squirrely looking
prayer to the corner of the end zone.
Right into the hands of
J.J. Stokes.
Touchdown.
Touchdown!
Should have been there.
Should have been there.
You should have been there.
If you want to be there, bring your Visa card, because you can't buy 49er tickets at 3Com Park with American Express.
You should have been there.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be. By Microsoft, providing software for the agile business. By XXX, own it December 31st on DVD. And by Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons in a methodical performance today, leading the Lions 22-0 with less than 2 minutes elapsed here in the fourth quarter. Jay Feely, who has a career day with 5 field goals. Now, the Falcon team record is 6, set by Norm Johnson 8 years ago against the New Orleans Saints, and that's very much within range for Feely. The Giants with a 30-6 lead in the final seconds of the third quarter, doing a number on the Indianapolis Colts today, setting up dramatics for next week, it appears. Feely's kick, and a good one into the end zone, and the Lions will run it out. Eddie Drummond. Drummond trying to get room. He's got the kicker, cuts inside. If he gets blocking, could go all the way. and Eddie Drummond down the sideline. And he will be upended at the 15. Boy, he had a great chance. He'll have to take 88 yards before Fred Weary caught up with him.
What a great job by Fred Weary, because there was a lot of Detroit Lions out in front of him. This one from deep in the end zone. You see the seam created right there. He gets inside Dave Feely. It's Travis Kershke with the block. He just can't get enough for Fred Weary right there at the end. He does a good job of playing off, buying a little bit of time. Here come the reinforcements up from behind, but he didn't even need their help. And it all starts with the blocking of the wedge. Nice patience by Eddie Drummond. He hits that wedge right at the moment all the blocks are being made.
And this is not his longest kickoff return. He had a 91-yarder earlier. So the Lions with a first down on the Falcon 15. Trying to get some points in the game. Pressure on McMahon, and he gets away and spins away. And I don't know how he got 4 yards out of that when it appeared he was going to be sacked. But John Theory missed him behind the line of scrimmage. And McMahon picks up 4. Close to the 10-yard line.
Well, these guys had an opportunity to play against each other in college. Mike McMahon at Rutgers and Mike Vick at Virginia Tech. So this has been a battle between the two of these as to who the best athlete or quarterback is for quite some time now.
Second down and 6. And Ray Buchanan is playing cornerback with Bolden out of there. And here is James Stewart bolting toward the goal line. And he is stopped a yard short after picking up 10 by Ray Buchanan.
A nice lead block by Corey Schlesinger to open the door for James Stewart to get down there. And what a job by the Lions special team when everything seemed to be going Atlanta all the way. They come up with a big play. Here comes Corey Schlesinger right here. The guy in motion gets a nice block on number 54, Chris Draft, to get James Stewart to the outside.
And right now, James Stewart is 4 yards away from 1,000. And he's going to get the call and spinning his way to the goal line. No signal, and he did not get in. He is stopped short of the goal line as Keith Brooking and then John Dale Carter from the secondary prevented Stewart from scoring.
And it's a nice effort by the Falcons defense, because it looked as though James Stewart with his second effort was going to get in and break the plane. You see John Dale Carter right there, number 35, coming in to deny him as he tries to stretch that ball across the plane.
It's a length of a football away. Second down and goal. Schlesinger and Stephen Trejo are in the backfield. And they give it to Schlesinger. And still no signal. He didn't get in. So the Falcons, with 2 stops at the goal line, bringing up 3rd and goal and anxious to protect their shutout at this point.
Yeah, you get to the latter stages of a game and the defense becomes inspired to be able to maintain that shutout, and Chris Draft does a good job there of standing up Stephen Trejo in the hole, forcing Corey Schlesinger with no place to go with the ball.
What happened to the old play action and let McMahon go outside?
Or even a quarterback sneak.
That too. And they give it to Schlesinger, and he's not going to get in. Well, you know the Lions are going to go for it on 4th down. John Dale Carty with his second big play in the last 3. And 4th down coming up, 4th and goal. And the Lions will try to, well, keep knocking on the door.
And try to run a little counter to Corey Schlesinger, but the Falcons defensive line just doing a great job right now controlling the line of scrimmage. There is absolutely no movement by the Detroit Lion offensive line group.
If the Falcons stop them here, it'll be the loudest roar of the day. Here's McMahon. And he gets it to Stewart for the touchdown. What an unorthodox play. McMahon looked like he was going down by Keith Brooking, and then all of a sudden he said, "This is too hot for me." Flipped it in the air, and James Stewart caught it for the touchdown.
Oh my goodness, now you can see why Marty Morningway can see a little bit of Brett Favre and Mike McMahon. He does the worst thing you can possibly do, hesitate. I don't even know if he threw the ball. I think he was bringing it up to throw it, and he got hit so hard from behind him that it just came out.
He coughed it
went
up
to James Stewart.
He coughed it up, and now the Lions going for 2, trailing 22-6. So the Lions finally break through, and finally, we really mean that. It was on 4th down. And the 2-point conversion. McMahon to throw. And he's got it to Schrader for the conversion. There's a flag down, however. And it's in the area of where Schrader caught the pass.
Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 men on the field. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Tries.
So even with 12 defending, the Lions get the 2-point conversion and trail 22-8.
Dude, those rocks look a little loose. Huh. Are you okay, Jim? No, Jason, hurry up. Hang on, man. I'm coming. Oh. Okay, give me your hand. You're okay.
Dude, do me a favor, don't tell anybody about this.
Okay. Oh, Mom! Oh, help! Oh.
I wasn't crying.
Life is best told over a great tasting Miller Lite at a place called Miller Time.
How will you declare your love this Christmas? A diamond is forever.
I need a car. No, a convertible. A red one. With under 15,000 miles.
Autotrader.com. With 2 million new or used cars, you can find the one you really want. And with millions of shoppers, you can sell the one you already have. It's the ultimate automotive classified site. Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
Got a buck? You're in luck. With something hot, something beefy, or something just plain irresistible tastes and incredible values every day, only on McDonald's Dollar Menu.
New Year's Day, join us for one of college football's most storied bowl games with the 67th SBC Cotton Bowl Classic on Fox. Chris Sims will lead Texas for the final time as the 9th-ranked Longhorns take on the LSU Tigers in the first meeting between these two schools in 40 years. The 67th SBC Cotton Bowl Classic, New Year's Day, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox. There's the scoring drive and the 2-point conversion. And now the onside kick expected. And now they revert back to a traditional kicking form as Jason Hansen kicks it deep to Allen Rawson. A yard in the end zone, and he will down it there. And keep in mind that 88-yard kickoff return by Eddie Drummond really set it all up for the Lions.
X, buy it on DVD.
Dangerous, uncivilized. I love his attitude.
From the director of The Fast and the Furious.
Let's take this to the next level.
The ultimate extreme DVD. Packed with special features.
I live for this.
Vin Diesel is X.
Here comes the...
Buy it December 31st on DVD.
Ford Focus performs as great as it looks. It's got a European-tuned suspension for exceptional maneuverability and handling. That's why Automobile Magazine calls it the best small car to drive. If not the cleanest. Ford Focus.
Yeah, ever since I got this, I feel...
Stronger, faster?
Yeah, I'm doing this, doing that, bang, 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 you know? This thing has turned me into, what's the word?
Want a more powerful phone? Switch to Sprint and get unlimited PCS Vision, unlimited night and weekend minutes, and 300 anytime minutes. And now at Sprint stores, get great deals instantly on PCS phones with full-color screens.
So you just go around in your costume helping people?
I do what I can.
PCS from Sprint. Clearly, the phone to give or get.
'Twas the Sunday before Christmas, and Malcolm's health is in doubt.
They're gonna cut you open?
Like a trout. Malcolm in the Middle at 9/8 Central tonight on Fox.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Sprint, introducing PCS Vision, clearly a whole new way to look at wireless.
Next week, it's the one award show the entire NFL has been waiting for. Find out who is named the Rookie of the Year, the Coach of the Year, the MVP, and many more as our own Terry Bradshaw hands out his annual Terry Awards, 2002 Terry Awards, a tradition unlike any other. Next Sunday, only on the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show.
Looking forward to see who he picks as his league's MVP.
That's up for grabs. First down, the Falcons lead now 22-8 in the pass out on the flat to Bob Christian. A fumble, and it's picked up by Goodman of the Lions. And Goodman brings it back to the 15, and this crowd stunned as a Falcon player is shaken up at the 35, and it is the fullback Bob Christian, who suffered a blow to the head earlier in the game and had to come out. But the Detroit Lions, who need 2 scores to take the lead, are in prime position here.
Well, I hope that all this is an aggravation of the earlier injury. You see right up there, he goes up high. The ball comes out immediately. Barrett Green on the hit, and Bob Christian went down and did not move. You can see his stomach moving. Watch Barrett Green come in. He goes up high, gets around the head area. That ball is out right now. I think Bob Christian was out on his feet. You can see as he goes down, he is, oh boy, he's out cold.
And that's the only way that ball would have come out like that, because it wasn't punched out. And all of a sudden, the Georgia Dome is totally quiet, except for Dan Reeves, who is visibly obviously concerned with Christian, but upset with the ensuing play. And obviously with a few words for the officials.
It's just one of those plays that you've done a million times in your career. Just a little flat pass. Barrett Green comes across, goes a little high with his arm, gets Bob Christian in the side of the head, and he was out on his feet as he went to the turf.
Earlier he took a shot and had to come out of the game for a couple of series, and then he returned. Now Dan Reeves checking on him. Let's send it down to Ron Pitts.
Standing about 5 yards away from Bob Christensen here, and I did just see him move his fingers and his hands. I can't see what else is going on at this moment, and obviously we're not going to speculate, but I have seen movement, so I'll keep you updated. Dick?
Couldn't be better news. We'll take a timeout.
What is it? It's a UBA. The UBA? Universal Business Adapter. What's it do? It connects anything to everything. What's this for? Your laptop, your mainframe, call center, Unix servers, Linux servers, internet, supply chain, payroll system, HR, email. Slick.
Is it affordable? Fast?
Easy. Very. Does it work in Europe? You need an adapter.
Buddy Holly sang to Peggy Sue and his legend grew just like Dr. Pepper. Let's raise a Dr. Pepper, salutes individuality and gives life a personality. Nothing's better, Dr. Pepper.
Hey,
Spider-Man fans. You could win a Sony home theater, Spider-Man DVD, or thousands of other prizes. Only on specially marked packages of Dr. Pepper.
Pittsburgh Steeler Jerome Bettis and his mom served Garrett Hill Campbell's Chunky Chicken Noodle, loaded with more wholesome chicken than before. Filled up right by a great bowl, Garrett went on to bowl great.
It's Friday night. The work week is over. But when you're deep undercover, the action is just getting started.
Ladies, these are friends, Van, D.
I don't mix business with pleasure.
Yeah, right.
We're here to catch the bag.
You don't flat cover, you never flash a badge.
What do you guys bring to the party?
Cash or credit?
Fastlane moves to Fridays.
Please believe it.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Followed by an all-new John Doe, January 10th on Fox.
The ultimate test of love versus money. Joe Millionaire premieres Monday, January 6th on Fox.
Well, Bob Christian got up himself and got into the card and was taken off just a few moments ago, Darryl.
Yeah, and that's great news. And Bob Christian was dinged earlier in the football game, and actually we had George Lane in the lineup. He had sat out a couple series. That's why there is so much attention placed on concussions in the NFL, and Bob Christian cleared the test to go back on the field. But when you have a pre-existing condition, you can see right there, he's not all the way back yet, but that's why it's just a simple blow to the head that can do the damage when you've already had an injury earlier in the football game.
McMahon, and they're going to rule it an incomplete pass as the Falcons scramble for the ball, but it's ruled an incomplete pass at the line of scrimmage and no fumble. And there is Walt Coleman indicating that McMahon was in the act of throwing. Let's check in again with Ron. What do you have?
Guys, Bob Christensen taken off. He has a concussion. They are taking him in for tests and observations right now. Remember, earlier today, he was dinged, and we think that that injury there is a part of that earlier hit. But we'll keep you updated if we find out anything more. Nick?
All right, Ron, and we know that he tried to go in, and the trainer stopped him on the sidelines earlier in the game. Cincinnati and New Orleans tied at 13 in the fourth. 2nd and 10, crowd still booing over that call, and this pass is caught in the end zone by Avion Cason for a touchdown. So strange emotions going on here at the Georgia Dome. Here the Falcons open up a 22-0 lead. The Lions come back to get a touchdown and conversion. Christian gets carted off. It's silent, and now the Lions score again.
And now they're only one play away from being tied in this football game, and he does a nice job of finding Avion Cason in the middle of 4 defenders. Their speed runner in the backfield split out wide to take advantage of a mismatch.
And Jason Hansen for the extra point. And he could bring the Lions to within 7 points. And Hansen's kick is good. And the Falcons lead is 22-15. And the crowd, as you see Cason with the catch and the touchdown, still upset over that call that McMahon was throwing the ball and no fumble rule.
You see Brady Smith coming in right there, taking him to the ground. He pops up just in time to see Avion Cason make that catch. And this is why earlier in the football game, when the Atlanta Falcons were inside the 10 on 3 separate occasions and settled for field goals, that is why you hear coaches get so frustrated when you're not scoring touchdowns. And now what was a game that was well in control just a few minutes ago, now you're 1 play away, and we've already seen several big plays during the course of this football game.
Boy, has this changed dramatically, and this crowd is stunned on many counts. First the injury and then the second score. Before that, the turnover as a result of that injury. Giants add to their lead over the Colts 37-12. And for McMahon, as you saw on the graphic, his 2nd touchdown pass of the day. So Allen Rossum is back deep, and Hansen will kick off for the Lions. And still a lot of time remaining, 9:31 in the fourth. And what was a 22-point lead has been cut to 7 by the Lions. In the old term, they have nothing to lose. Looms large here. This is a short kick, and Rossum returning from the 5. Allen Rossum cutting back as the flag goes down. And we'll see whether the Falcons, as usually in the case on the return, called for a hold or illegal use of the hands, and it is against Atlanta. So all sorts of things happening around the league, and Cincinnati now tying up New Orleans at 13 all.
Holding, 35, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
John Dale Carty and Dan Reeves and Mike Vick trying to figure out what to do to stem the tide here in this fourth quarter, Moose.
Well, it's just amazing that you know, that this quarter starts and they're in complete control of this football game, and this is what has happened. I mean, we talked about it earlier. The Falcons have been in 4 overtime games. The Lions have been in 3 overtime games. They play games that are close to the vest, and you can't wait until the end of the game to try and have some late game heroics to win football games. In the beginning of a game or at the start of the second half, when you've got the opportunity to put an opponent away, you put them away.
Field goals are fine, but the touchdowns really can put a club away. First down at the 12, and here's Warwick Dunn. Dunn bounces off the defender and breaks out, and a big gain by Warwick Dunn going out of bounds at the 34, picking up 22 as we send you to James Brown for a game break.
Hey, Dick, visual embellishment of how the score was tied by Cincinnati. Nicholas Lucci was the big man on his drive, moving the pile ahead. Therefore, the Bungles became the Bengals on that one to tie it up, but they went back to being the Bungles, though, Dick, when Neil Racker's extra point attempt was blocked by Grady Jackson. Back to Dick, Darrell, and Ron.
And the New Orleans Saints, they have 5 losses this year, 2 of them to the Falcons. The other 3, Detroit, Minnesota, and Cleveland. For some reason, they play down to the level of their opponents at times. They have not been consistent throughout the season.
Warwick Dunn has 100 yards rushing and 22 carries and a first down, and the fake pitch. And here is Vick, will try to take it himself and instead throws and overthrows Brian Kozlowski. But you're right about the New Orleans Saints, and things are getting too close for comfort on many fronts right now. The Giants have a comfortable lead at Indianapolis, but they're hoping that the Falcons were to lose so that they can move back into the playoff race. Atlanta now leading by 7, and the Saints, who could be passed by the Falcons today. So you talk about the swivel that the Falcons are on. They could move down, they could move up, and they can just simply clinch. And the whistle before the play gets underway.
We've got a challenge by the Detroit staff. I think they're going to go take a look at whether Mike Vick was across the line of scrimmage on that last play when he threw the football.
Be the first challenge of the day.
Detroit is challenging, ruling on the field that the quarterback was not behind the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball.
Exactly right.
Well, you see the ball is snapped just inside the 34-yard line. We'll see where Mike Vick is. It all depends on where he was when the ball comes out, and you have to be all the way across the line of scrimmage for this to be ruled beyond the line of scrimmage. It looks like his entire body is beyond the 34-yard line. But again, what this will boil down to is there something that's indisputable that the officials see on the replay to overturn this. A lot of times we see calls and there's that gray area, and it all boils down to interpretation. Well, that's not part of instant replay. It has to be indisputable visual evidence to overturn the call on the field.
And Marty Morenweg had to get that information from upstairs to the coaches who saw that, and you know, this is a loss of down as well. So I guess anything now, Darrell, would be pivotal when you have a 7-point game with just under 9 minutes to go in the fourth.
Yeah, that's the big thing. It is the loss of down, so it would be second down after the yardage is marked off. And
now if he's in the air, when he let go of the ball, he's in the air, that would be all right as long as he was down behind when he took off. He could take off in the air.
And one of the things that the officials will take into consideration too is these replays are shot at angles that are not down the line of scrimmage, and you can see right there it looks as though he is
where the ball is, And a lot has to do with where the ball, and you're right, this is total angle play.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to get a shot directly down the line of scrimmage, which is what you're going to have really to be able to overturn this play. And you know, you fought back to 22 to 15 as the Detroit Lions have in this situation. And you know, if this is ruled that he was beyond the line of scrimmage, the big thing, it will be second down and the yardage marked off because they lose the down.
There was not indisputable visual evidence to show that the quarterback was past the line of scrimmage. The ruling on the field stands. Detroit will be charged with their first timeout.
And I can understand that because that's the way it looked to us. It could have gone either way, and the indisputable visual evidence factor was #1, and the Lions are charged with a timeout. Each team has 2 remaining. So that's what you have to say. You know, you're down by 7. You got like 9 minutes or so remaining in the game for yardage, and to loss it down, do you want to risk giving up a timeout that you may need later?
He felt that decision was valid, and you know, he lost that one. But when you're sitting at home, when you see the challenge come up and the replays come up, if everybody sitting around watching the game is saying, no, I think it should be overturned, well, no, I think it should be overturned. When you get into those situations, just realize that the officials probably are not going to do it because they can't see enough on the video of the instant replay to warrant it being overturned.
Well, Marty's been under the microscope with decisions far more serious than that one this year. On second down, Vick's pass caught by Warwick Dunn, and it'll be no gain after all of that as Corey Harris is there to make the tackle. Of course, talking about, as you look at Kurt Schottenheimer, the game played against the Chicago Bears on November 24th, won by the Bears in overtime 20-17, which will stand in infamy, of course, for Detroit fans when Marty decided to take the wind and kick off in overtime, and the Lions or the Bears ended up scoring.
Yeah, but more so the decision to accept the penalty on the third down, where it would have forced the Bears into a fourth down punt or a decision to try the 52-yard field goal into the wind that he was trying to establish.
Third down and 10, and here is Vick going to his right. He has a receiver, and the flag goes down, and Quentin McCord was run into by Brian Walker, and Walker might have lost contact where McCord was because he did not have to hit him to make a play on that pass. And a pass interference call, a critical one against the Lions, will give the Falcons new life.
Pass interference, 45, defense, first down.
Well, again, you've got a guy running free in the secondary, and I don't know why the defensive backs of the Detroit Lions are getting caught up in Michael Vick scrambling. You can see Brian Walker, he's running full speed trying to get back into the play against Quentin McCord, and there's absolutely no reason for him to be focused in the backfield when Michael Vick is scrambling.
Jimmy Wyrick is injured for the Lions, and it looked to me as if Walker didn't even see where the ball was coming. He saw the receiver and went and just decided to go after McCord. And then at the last minute, try to turn around to see where the ball was.
Oh, he's just in full chase at that point. He knows that he's moved up because he thinks Michael Vick's going to run the ball. All of a sudden, he pulls up, throws the ball down the field. He's got to get back and try and prevent the big play.
How about the Colts trailing now 37-20, making a run with less than 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Saints tied with the Bengals, who missed an extra point. You saw that on a game break from JB. Falcons trying to cling to a victory here if they can hold on up by 7. So many different variables, and could happen in the next 8 minutes or so. First down on the 28 for Atlanta. And here is Warwick Dunn, and Dunn with a good run, pushing the line, getting 6 yards on the play. Warwick Dunn will always remember his first 100-yard game in his NFL career, and that occurred against the same team, the Detroit Lions, back in 1997. Second and 4 for Atlanta on the Detroit 22. And again, they go to Dunn, and this time Lamar Campbell comes up. He had some help on the play. 1-yard pickup. It'll be third down.
The Atlanta Falcons again taking advantage of that big penalty, getting down into the scoring area, but at this point on the verge of stalling out again and having to settle for a field goal.
If they do, and this is where the Lions, and you talked about how they have stiffened so many times today to force Feely to try field goals. And for Dan Reeves, trying to get his team in the playoffs for the first time in 4 years, this has been an arduous task today. At one point, it looked like it was going to be a breeze. 3rd down and 3. And here is Vick. Vick was going to run, and can he get around in? And Vick gets the first down.
Can't do anything about that.
No.
I mean, that's just athletic ability, pure and simple right there. The Detroit Lions played it exactly the way they wanted to. Their defensive linemen stayed in their rush lanes. They had the ability to make two-way goes in case Michael Vick went inside or outside. But when he turns the corner, the speed that he has right there as he goes beyond Kalimba Edwards and turns that corner, when the play started, you thought they have him. And then all of a sudden, he's by you, and he's got enough yards for the first down.
Just loves the game, does Mike Vick, who has gained 44 yards on 6 carries today. And first down for the Falcons on the Lions 17. And they go again to number 28. And he has a little strength to go with that speed as he carries Jeff Gooch down to the 11-yard line, picking up 5 and using valuable time in the process.
And this is a part of the game that has really kind of disappeared for the Atlanta Falcons since their opening drive, the ability to get Warrick Dunn consistent chunks of yardage in the running game. And I really feel that if this offense is to perform at the level that they're going to need to get into the playoffs, they have to be able to run the ball effectively with Warrick Dunn to allow the defense to have something else to worry about in defending this offense besides Michael Vick.
Packers defeat the Buffalo Bills 10-0, and Warrick Dunn again getting inside the 10-yard line. So the Green Bay Packers right now the number 3 seed, which means that they would not get a bye in the first round of the playoffs. They would have a home game, but their goal is to have a week off and play at Lambeau Field, where they've never lost a playoff game. So they win to keep those hopes going. And the 10th play of this drive about to elapse. 3rd down and 1 needed for the Falcons. And they go to George Lane, and Lane with a first down inside the 5. Lane, who came in when Bob Christian went out earlier in the game, and then when Christian was knocked out and taken off the field, Lane came in as the fullback. So 1st and goal for the Falcons.
As a defense, you're so worried about Michael Vick and what he can do, and all of a sudden Warrick Dunn is beginning untracked, and very easy to slip a guy like George Lane in there and on a quick hitting play with enough yards to get the first down.
1st down and goal at the 3. Under 4 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter, and here is Warrick Dunn straight ahead for the touchdown. Well, the game started off on the first possession with Warrick Dunn shouldering most of the load, and he is doing it here to use up time. And the Atlanta Falcons, who had their lead cut to 7, now have room to exhale on the 3-yard touchdown run up the middle.
And their offensive line does a good job, and Warrick Dunn with excellent vision. The play designed to go to the right. He sees the whole backside, is able to cut back in there, find that opening in that crease, and get in for the touchdown.
Jay Feely. And the Falcons now lead it 29-15. So they are up by 2 touchdowns. And Warrick Dunn capping a 10-play, 88-yard scoring drive. And for Dunn, his 7th touchdown rushing of the year. Well, next week it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, beginning with America's #1 pregame show. Then the Falcons against the Browns, and it's a game they're going to need to win next week. Packers against the Jets. Packers have something to play for. Getting home field and maybe a bye, and the Jets are still alive as well. Big doubleheader next week.
There is so much to be resolved in that final week of the NFL season. I can't remember one in recent history where we've had so much undecided going into the final week of the regular season to sort out the playoff scenarios.
88 yards. They went 85 yards today. 80 and 88 right here. So 3 drives are 80 or more, and you can't ask for more than that in ball control. As you see the latest from Cincinnati, Saints and Bengals tie at the 2-minute warning. So the plot thickens here in the NFL in Week 16. The big play, of course, was the 38-yard pass interference penalty against the Lions, which set the Falcons up. Jay Feely kicking off on a bouncer that Schlesinger loses for the minute, picks it up at the 10. And Corey Schlesinger out to the 25-yard line. And let's get back to L.A. for a game break in James Brown.
Hey, Dick, major upset in the making. Cincinnati looking to knock off New Orleans. Nicholas Lucci has been a man. 4 carries for 28 yards. They are under 2 minutes to play in regulation. The Bengals at the 3-yard line. Let's take it back to Dick, Darrell, and Ron.
Incredible, and I don't know whether the fans here are aware of this, because they would erupt if they knew. And I guess if indeed the Bengals do score, they should announce this and set the place crazy. What do you think?
Unbelievable that a team that has played as well as New Orleans has all season on the verge of being beaten by the 1-13 Cincinnati Bengals late in the season with a whole lot to play for.
We're seeing it all over the place as McMahon's pass is incomplete. So the time of possession story again ruining the Detroit Lions. And 26 plus minutes, and today they have 21, so they're well below what was a poor number. Second down and 10 on the 25. Out of the shotgun is McMahon, being chased and firing it away, and he got rid of it in time to avoid the sack. Chris Draft trying to get to McMahon. 3rd and 10.
Don't forget Travis Claridge, a helmet like Keith Brooking right there. He's got to get that 3rd snap put on.
You told me we weren't going to see any bloody noses today.
Well, he's got the same thing. You know, your helmet keeps coming down right on the bridge of your nose, and we saw Keith. Travis needs to go to Keith after the game and say, hey, that thing seems like it's working pretty good. You got to find out how I can get that hooked up on my helmet.
3rd down and 10 at the 25. McMahon drills it, and it's intercepted. Kevin Mathis, and that is the 3rd interception of the day by the Atlanta Falcons secondary, a secondary that has been affected by injuries coming in, but it hasn't stopped the way they played.
No, they've played so much better this week than they did in the previous 2 weeks, but I still don't know why the Detroit Lions did not challenge this Atlanta secondary with the type of plays that hurt them against Tampa Bay and Seattle, and those were underneath crossing routes versus this man-to-man coverage. They had Ray Buchanan, who was back at the safety position, Jerome Bolden making his first start. They've had opportunities to do different things to challenge this group, and for the entire football game, we're content to throw passes that did not take advantage of the vulnerabilities that they saw on tape.
How about this? Cincinnati leading New Orleans 20-13. There is time left, however, in that game with 1:46 remaining. First down for the Falcons on the 37 of Detroit. Warwick Dunn getting inside the 35. So Dunn going over 100 yards for the 4th time this year. And right now, let's check in with James Brown.
Dick, Darrell, and Ron, take a look at how Cincinnati's trying to make for the upset here. Nicholas Lucci had 8 carries for 45 yards on that drive. The PAT is good. Cincinnati up 20-13. Lucci in, by the way, because Corey Dillon went out with an injured elbow. Back to Dick, Darrell, and Ron.
And they have put the score up on the board, so the crowd is aware of the fact that the New Orleans Saints trail, and if those scores hold up, the Falcons would actually be ahead of the New Orleans Saints in the playoff race as Dunn carries close to first down yardage. As you mentioned, by virtue of the fact that they swept them in the regular season, and more than that, would have a record of 9-5-1 as compared to 9-6 And the Giants are still alive. This thing is not going to be settled till next week. We know that.
No, and it's so funny how people will start to project what they think is going to happen going into that final month of the season. Well, hey, look at the New Orleans Saints. They've got an easy schedule down the stretch. Well, they lost to Minnesota last week, and they're about to lose to Cincinnati with what a lot of people felt was the easiest remaining schedule of the top teams in the NFC.
Lions call a timeout. They have one remaining. 2:26 to go, trailing by 29-15. Well, today's game produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman, the associate director Charles McDonald, the broadcast associates Wayne Wilson and Robert Slosby, technical producer Bob Muller. The pregame show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy, the studio technical supervisor Jack Simmons. And a terrific job done by our entire production and technical crew, as they have all season. We wish them all a happy holiday. 3rd down and 1, and the whistle blows. And a penalty, false start coming up against the Falcons.
Prior to the snap, false start, 89, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Reggie Kelly. Senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers are Ed Gorin and David Hill. And we like to thank our very able stats crew, Chris Visser, Rick Odioso, Wade Junko, and Mike Eldridge. So with the penalty, 3rd down and 6 for the Falcons. The Lions, this is their final road game of the year. They were 0-8 last year and headed for 0-8 once again. Giants rolling over the Colts 44-27 against that new and improved defense in Indy. And another whistle.
Speaking of new and improved, the Giants offense, 37 points last week against Dallas, and they follow that up with 44 against Indy. And they had been one of those teams who was always in tight games all year until the last 2 weeks.
False start, 65, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So 2 straight 5-yard penalties against the Falcons.
That'll make Dan Reeves happy. 3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and 11.
Tell you, contemplate what we're in for next week in that season finale. Third down and 11.
Hey, Jeff, what screen?
Warwick Dunn. And that'll bring up 4th down as he is tackled at the 34-yard line. And I know that the AFC has had so many teams still fighting for playoff berths. And now the NFC, which appeared to be all settled, now we don't know the places and we don't know all the teams, because the Giants are going to stay alive with what presumes to be a victory over the Colts. And we don't know what slots the Falcons or the Saints will be in, because Atlanta on the verge of moving ahead of New Orleans. Green Bay still hopes to move into the charm too. That's what's exciting about it all.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers.
Okay, boys, caught in the air.
Okay, guys, get this bird put away and we're done for the day.
With a new available Power Stroke diesel, 5-speed automatic torque shift transmission, and the most torque and horsepower of any diesel pickup, F-Series Super Duty goes way beyond just getting the job done. F-Series, the best-selling truck on the planet, is built for tough.
It won't hook up to our TV.
You don't want your gift of a DVD player or video game system to make the holidays blue because it can't be used. Come to Radio Shack and get the RF modulator. It's a cool little adapter for TVs that can't hook up those new electronics.
Sorry, baby. I should have checked the TV.
Check your TV to see if it has the right hookups, and if it doesn't, get an RF modulator from Radio Shack.
2 minutes remaining in the game. The Cincinnati Bengals have stunned the New Orleans Saints 20-13. For the Saints, they dropped to 9-6, and right now their playoff hopes are really in trouble because now they do not control their own destiny. And here is Michael Vick going back and firing, and it's caught by Brian Finneran, who breaks away and gets in for the touchdown. Mike Vick, who has gone over 300 yards passing for the first time in his career, fires a 34-yarder, and a Lion is shaken up on the field to Finneran.
Brian Finneran works down the field, breaks inside on the in route. The ball is delivered right on time. Jimmy Warick has an opportunity to make the tackle. He doesn't wrap up. Brian Finneran breaks out of there between 3 Lion defenders and escapes into the end zone. All of that on a 4th down conversion.
So Finneran, the leading receiver, with his 5th touchdown catch of the year, and Jeff Gooch shaken up for the Detroit Lions. So a battered day for the Atlanta Falcons, who do indeed respond from their 2-game losing streak, and they were reeling for a brief moment, but they have come back big in this game. The reaction of Finneran, and they have just posted the final score of the New Orleans Saints. There it is, as the fans saw it. What a Merry Christmas they'll have here, as the Atlanta Falcons will move into the number 5 position, and the New Orleans Saints, by losing, are tied with the Giants, who would have a tiebreaker with the Saints by common games. That means that if the Giants hold on to their win this week and beat the Eagles next Saturday, and that's what we wanted to tell you, is that next Saturday we have that big Giant-Eagle matchup. Eagles need it for home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. A Giant win gets them into the playoffs. You can't ask for more than that, as Feely, with the extra point, makes it 36-15. And let's go to James Brown. Who else right now, JB?
Take a look at Aaron Brooks on 4th and 10 from his own 26, looking to hook up with Jake Reed. Incomplete pass. Cincinnati Dick goes on to complete the upset, knocking off the New Orleans Saints. Back to Dick, Darrell, and Ron.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable that the Saints, I mean, the last 2 weeks, Minnesota, now Cincinnati, and you never know anymore. You just never know what's going to happen. I mean, the Giants, when they lost to Tennessee, done. No chance of getting in. And now they control their own destiny.
Giants play Philadelphia next Saturday on Fox. Special start time, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. And it all begins with a special pregame show on the final weekend. So the Atlanta Falcons, who got a scare today, they were up 22-0, and saw the Lions come back to cut it to a touchdown deficit, have come back with 2 scores here in this 4th quarter and lead it 36-15. Mike Vick with 2 touchdown passes. Jay Feely with a career-high 5 field goals. And Eddie Drummond returning for the Lions. And running into his own man, and is down at the 22-yard line. Well, it's been a big day for the Atlanta Falcons offensively, and here they are.
Just a huge day for Mike Vick as he goes over his the 300-yard mark, has a career high. Warwick Dunn over 100 yards rushing, and Quentin McCord, who gets an opportunity to play because Sean Jefferson's out and Trevor Gaylor goes to the number 1 spot, just a few yards away from having the all-time Atlanta Falcons receiving yardage total today, but the highest total that they have had all season long for a wide receiver.
First down on the 25 for the Lions. Mike McMahon The starter today hitting Michael Ricks. And there is McCord, and what a game for the second-year receiver, Quentin McCord. And McCord with the touchdown reception in the second quarter to give the Falcons a 13-0 lead. Finneran getting in the act today as well. And the Falcons bounce back. And Mike Vick turning his game around after a sluggish start. Pressure on McMahon, throwing incomplete for Ricks.
And I don't think we can overlook the effort of the Falcons defense this afternoon. They played extremely well, had a shutout into the fourth quarter. It was a long kickoff return by Eddie Drummond and the fumble by Bob Christian deep in their end that got the 15 points for the Detroit Lions, but they have played exceptional all afternoon.
And how about the 3 interceptions by the Atlanta Falcons? Ambrose, Jerron Bolden, and Kevin Mathis on a team that lost to Ray Buchanan as far as starting at quarterback, and Gerald McBurrows, their starting strong safety. Third down pass thrown away and beyond any receiver, so fourth down coming up with a minute and a half to go. The Detroit Lions will drop their 7th straight game and go to 3-12 on the year, and one of the big reasons for the Falcons have proven all around defensively is that man there, Wade Phillips.
Yeah, and the one thing that he wanted to really improve on were the big plays that this defense gave up last year. The worst in the NFL, giving up 20-plus yard plays. He's done a good job of improving in that area, and he's got the mentality that really boils down to scoring defense and takeaways. And his defense, they'll give up yards, but they don't give up a lot of points, and they create a lot of turnovers.
McMahon goes down, and that'll be Patrick Kearney with the sack. That's 10.5 for Kearney to lead the club, and a loss of 12 yards. So fourth down coming up for the Detroit. No, that was fourth down, and the Falcons will take over on downs with 1:23 on the clock. Falcons will finish at Cleveland next week. The New Orleans Saints will be home against the Carolina Panthers. Both those games on Fox, and of course Saturday, in our Saturday special, it'll be the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. First down at the 15 with 1:23 to go. And knowing Dan Reeves, I think you're going to see a lot of handoffs. Knee.
Yeah,
He's
I'd
not
be
gonna try
surprised
to
if there's
score.
even a handoff.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Mike Vick take a knee right here.
That's exactly right.
One of the classiest coaches in the NFL.
And the Falcons still have to wait a week to see whether they will make the playoffs, but their situation is certainly brightened by their win and the Saints' loss. And this is the way it is right now. Atlanta jumps to number 5 by virtue of the win, and the Giants leap over the New Orleans Saints, who are on the outside looking in right now. The Giants beating the Colts. That game, I don't know if it's over or not, but the Giants were up by a healthy margin, and if they win, they'll go to 9-6, and as we said, have the tiebreaker advantage over the Saints, and it is a final. And of course the Eagles still trying to nail down number 1. Tampa Bay holding on to number 2, and the Green Bay Packers will try to get into the charmed slot of first or second and get a bye.
And that's the good thing about the scenarios we have this year, is you're not going to have those games at the end of the year where the marquee players are sitting down. Everybody has something to play for. San Francisco really the only team that might want to sit somebody down next week because they can't improve their position, but everybody else in the NFC has got something very important to play for next week. You're going to see some great football next weekend.
And Mike Vick had a good this weekend for the Atlanta Falcons, as he had a career high going over the 300 mark for the first time passing lies in his career. 2 touchdown passes. Final score, the Falcons win 36-15 over the Lions. We'll be right back.
Imagine you're an Staley and the Eagles, Strahan and the Giants. It's a Fox NFL special this Saturday, 12:30 Eastern.
Falcons beat the Lions 36-15, and here's the UPS leaderboard delivering today's leaders. Mike Vick 337 yards passing. Warwick Dunn, 132 yards rushing. Quentin McCord, 182 yards in the air. And here is Dr. Pepper's play of the game.
And the reason why this was such a huge play for the Atlanta Falcons is earlier in the game they had settled for 3 field goals. This is their first touchdown down in the red zone area. Mike Vick to Quentin McCord to really get the team untracked.
So this is Dick Stockton for Darrell Johnston and Ron Pitts saying so long from Atlanta. The final score, Falcons 35, Lions 16. Make sure to tune into Fox tonight for some of television's best comedies. It all starts with The Simpsons at 8 Eastern and Pacific. Then it's King of the Hill, followed by Malcolm in the Middle and an all-new Andy Richter show. So long, everybody. Atlanta wins a big one.